Kickoff party. Hope to see many of you tonight at Regions Field as the Birmingham Barons will be taking on the Trash Pandas, but we will be in attendance, all of us at Jox, Cole, Greg, John, Damian, myself, Conrad. I think even Molly said that she might show up.
She worked it out with her schedule?
I think so. I think her people had to negotiate something with someone. You know how she is. She's big time.
Yeah, she is.
We welcome you to the program. We have got a lot going on today. Trey Wallace from Outkick, Rodney Orr, Rob Pate, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles.
Not Gene Deckerhoff.
No, he retired. He's still the voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Gene Deckerhoff.
Great guy.
Yeah, great voice.
He retired a couple years ago. But Jeff Cohane, who is the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, he will be one of our guests later on. And the return of the Southern Gentleman.
Yes.
Woo.
One of our most favorite guests that we have in the history of this show, Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio, Ole Miss Radio Network. He joins us every Thursday. He will start his weekly hits with us today. So a lot going on.
You think we get excited about the college football season? Brett Norsworthy he's like a kid the night before Christmas.
Oh yeah. No, he sent me a text yesterday, and I think I shared it with you. He says, I've got a countdown clock in my office. And the countdown clock has two events on his countdown clock. One is Farmageddon, which officially starts the beginning of the college football season Saturday morning. And the other is the countdown clock to 12:30 on Thursday, which is today.
That's right.
Which is him coming on three-man front.
Well, he will give us his first I Ain't Scared bold prediction of the season.
I'm sure he's ready to go. To go.
If you've never joined the show, Brett Norsworthy, who we need more Brett Norsworthys, and he truly is a Southern gentleman, and Pat just went through his bio, but he is a great listen, and he is awesome to have, a wealth of knowledge and just an entertaining guy that will be joining us throughout the football season, per usual, on Thursdays.
Yeah, so we look forward to that. For the second day in a row, we start the program discussing the UFL. This is not a repeat. This is a live broadcast of Three-Man Front. But what I'm about to tell you is almost a carbon copy of what happened yesterday. A day and a half ago, the UFL reached out to us at Three-Man Front and said, would you guys be willing to talk to the vice president of operations at the UFL, which is Moose Johnston? And we said, absolutely. Love Moose. Bring him on. Okay, cool. 1:00. Done. I promoted it. The station promoted it. The show promoted it. We're ready to go. Minutes before we went on the air, Landrum got notification from the UFL. He was not available. Didn't give a reason. He wasn't going to be on. Okay. So then this morning on Mac and Cube, the UFL reaches out and asks if they would be interested to have Mike Rapoli on, the billionaire that has bought into the UFL. Of course. They said we'd be happy to talk to him. Well, guess what happened? He didn't show up. So take that for whatever that means. So for 2 days in a row, the UFL said, you know what? Might be a good idea to go on the #1 sports show in America and come on Jox to talk about what's going on in Birmingham. And then they changed their mind. So I have no idea what any of this means. I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you, that the billionaire decided that he wanted to actually have a conversation, an honest conversation with people in Birmingham about what's going on with the Stallions, but he didn't show up. So don't know what to tell you, those people that have purchased season tickets, what that means, or if you should listen to the ultimatum. I have no idea, because for 2 days in a row, the UFL said they were going to do something, and then they didn't do it. So
I don't know what to make of it. I'm trying to think if I've ever had a conversation with a billionaire. I guess I have. I talked to Jimmy Rain a long time ago. He's a billionaire now. He wasn't then. But Rapoli, he's well into the billions, right? 1.6?
Think so.
Yeah, Pat, I don't know what to make of it either. But we have done all that we can.
So, that's that.
That's that.
Yeah, we'll move on. Tonight, as I mentioned, we have the Jox Kickoff party, and it has been a record number of listeners who put their names in the hat to try to get tickets, to try to win tickets. And we only had a limited number of tickets that was available. And some of those that have won the tickets, things come up in life. Kid gets sick, got to go out of town on business, whatever the case may be. But we now have a small number of tickets that are now available to the listeners. So if you have not won tickets to tonight's event and you are interested and you can attend tonight, we have got 5 pair of tickets for tonight. So if you want a pair of tickets to come to the Jox Kickoff Party tonight at Regions Field, we're going to take your phone calls at 1-800-239-WJOX. The first 5 people that call in and say, hey, I can go tonight, I just need the tickets, they're yours. We will put you on hold. You will get to talk to the wonderful, the fantastic tones of Conrad Van Order. And
first question, you need to ask him to qualify. Have you learned how to change a tire?
Yes. And based on the phones that are lighting up like a Christmas tree, and it warms our heart to see so many people want to come see Landrum tonight. So
yeah, sure that's it.
So once again,
by the way, you were not there for the fitting yesterday.
For the tux?
Yeah.
Well, I told you I purchased one. I went to Saks Fifth Avenue and I purchased one.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not wearing a tux tonight, but Patrick Isbell has been nice enough. I'm going to meet him after the show there at 18 South and Homewood. I'm going to try to look
halfway presentable.
Well, I don't want to embarrass my family. You're going to be wearing a tux.
I'm wearing my junior prom dress.
What corsage are you wearing?
It's white.
I know I can count on Conrad.
Are you? Is it the wrist corsage? Or are you going?
It's a wrist one.
Okay.
I don't want to put a pin in the dress.
You wearing boutonniere?
Well, that's why I was asking her what she was wearing.
Okay.
It's nice.
So Conrad is in the process now in the other room. He's really not happy right now.
This is like when we would do the trivia questions with Rodney Orr.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
This is just watching Conrad there in his glass enclosure in his habitat.
Yes. I just hope he doesn't throw anything up on the glass.
Yeah.
Like they do at some zoos.
Hey, buddy.
He is taking your calls off the air as we speak. And
so there's that smile.
So once he gets the 5 pairs of tickets given away, then we will obviously move on to something else. But we appreciate so many people.
He's getting a lot of info.
Yeah, that are trying to get in right now to get those tickets.
He's still on caller number 2.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Hope to see you there this evening at Regions Field. You know, the Barons got rained out last night, so they got a doubleheader today. But that will not affect anything that we're doing, which we're doing up in the center field area.
Once again, what time does it start?
Well, I know what time I got to be there.
Well, yeah.
I'm not really sure.
6:15?
I got to be there a little earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
The suit has asked me to.
Gotta make sure the red carpet's rolled out, nice and steamed.
Yep.
You know,
You're setting out chairs.
vacuumed.
Got to make sure the Zap Man is in place for all the pictures that's going to be taken.
Dunking machine.
Yes.
Okay.
Not sure who the first person is going to be in the dunking machine.
Can't wait to meet our great listeners.
We've also set up a large screen, like internet television, and we're going to FaceTime Don from the seas of the Caribbean.
Is that safe?
Because Don will not be in attendance tonight, and I know so many people hate that. So we're going to do a FaceTime on the big screen. Maybe we'll put it on in the stadium.
Like they do the kiss cam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can he sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"?
Hope so. I don't know. It might not be a good idea based on what happened at Coldplay. You never know what's going on a boat.
Well, that's true.
I don't know if it's a good idea to FaceTime Don, period.
May not.
Not on a cruise ship.
Molly, go in the other room and just ask him, like, where are we at? Like, how many is he giving away? I mean, it's like he's getting people's life stories. Don't understand what he's doing. Let's see what Molly. Just ask him.
She's being very timid. Just go ahead. He's not going to bite you.
I don't want to interrupt. He's talking to a great listener.
Let's hear. I'm gonna hear him.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna try to take care of that and see what happens. You were talking about a billionaire a minute ago.
Mhm.
You were talking about, did you say Jimmy Rain?
Yeah, Jimmy Rain.
Jimmy Rain was in the news yesterday as his company, Yellowwood, one of the more famous companies in the state of Alabama. They are putting their money where their mouth is, and this is no big surprise. Jimmy Rain and Pat Dye were extremely close when Coach Pat Dye was alive. And it was announced yesterday by Auburn that on the field, they will feature the corporate sponsor logo of Yellowwood. They're going to serve as the sponsor of Pat Dye Field. So reportedly, this is an 8-figure deal, and it will cover 5 years. The logo will feature the words Pat Dye Field with the Yellowwood logo below it. Sources say that Rain wanted Pat Dye's recognition to be larger than the Yellowwood logo, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure that Pat Dye's name was bigger than their logo. Estimates over the past year have corporate field sponsorships priced between $2 million and $6 million annually. Yellowwood deal falls roughly in the middle, according to sources.
So if we're going to guess based on that, would say, what, $15 to $18 million somewhere in there for a 5-year deal?
Yeah. A lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But Yellowwood has been a longtime sponsor of Auburn athletics, and Jimmy Rain has been a member of the Auburn Board of Trustees since 1999.
They got a great product, too.
Yeah.
I've used a lot of that product.
Yep.
If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it.
That's right. So they become now one of the many field sponsors that are popping up around college football.
Yeah.
South Carolina announced their deal with a Caterpillar company.
You got Pilot there at Tennessee.
Pilot, Tennessee. Arkansas, you got what, Walmart and Tyson? I think
yeah.
those are the two that you have on the field. Does Nebraska have any?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Wouldn't be surprised in the future.
Runza. Runza.
See, Runza would be perfect.
Runza would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that vape store.
Well, hopefully not.
That would be a little awkward. I mean, the vape store. All right, Conrad, what is the latest? What can you tell us? Are we done? Did you give them away?
He's sweating.
What were y'all giving me a hard time about? Molly was coming in here to do a welfare check on me.
It was just taking too long. You were asking people like all these personal questions.
I got to get them to spell out their emails so that we can get them their tickets and make sure it's accurate.
Okay.
It seemed like a very intrusive process, so you were asking him a lot of questions.
I apologize that my methods
No,
don't match up with how
that
y'all
was just an
work.
observation, not a criticism.
I feel like that's pretty good. We gave away 5 pairs of tickets in the first segment. I think that's efficient.
Yeah, it was good.
Very nice. Well, we appreciate all of you wanting to be a part of tonight's event.
Do they
It should
sound
be
like
a lot
fun
of
people?
They do sound like fun people, and unfortunately, we have given them all away now, so thank you to the listeners because the phones did blow up immediately, and we have given away all 5 pairs of tickets, so we have hopefully 10 happy people that will be showing up tonight at Regents Field.
What are you wearing, by the way? He's wearing a tux. She's wearing a junior prom dress. I'm not wearing
Are
formal.
you wearing a turtleneck?
I am not. It's too hot for a turtleneck. I don't know.
How about a dickie?
I'll wear I'll probably be in
loves a good dickie.
I'll be in a collared shirt. I am going to wear my fun shoes, though, because I know y'all make fun of them so often that I have to wear the shoes.
yeah. I agree with
Hey,
that.
I'm so glad you said that
I have to wear
because
them.
that's one of the Pat Ponders questions today.
You didn't
And it has
ask
to
it.
do-
I think that's a
About
great
It
idea,
has to do with
Conrad.
his shoes.
Oh,
With
no.
my shoes?
With
Because
your
that's
shoes.
going to be the question by everybody. If you don't, you're not wearing the shoes. Where are the shoes? Everybody can see how ridiculously awful they look.
Exactly. I have to wear them. It was funny. I was walking down the hallway, and somebody on the talk station the other day, I had my tennis shoes on. They went, "Oh, someone wore their big boy shoes today." I was like, "Man, this is like a whole office-wide thing at this point, isn't it?"
Yeah, aren't you proud that I have included you? You're going to be part of history. You're going to be part of Pat Ponders.
I appreciate it.
Your shoes,
I appreciate it.
they've kind of grown on me. I would never wear them, but I don't know.
Hey, you catch me in the right mood tonight, come up to me. I'll let you try them on.
Ooh,
Ooh,
That's disgusting.
Conrad,
with your sweaty feet?
with the waffle snobbers.
Then they'll be clean.
You're
I'm wearing
cleaning them
socks
for
right
this
now.
event?
Well,
I
no,
think
my
he meant his
feet.
feet's
My
going to be
feet.
clean.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the shoes are not.
Yeah, that's
Who cleans their
disgusting.
shoes? Come on.
Yeah.
That was a joke, everybody. I cleaned my shoes. That was a joke.
No, look,
Or
it's
was it?
awkward. He's like,
Yeah, now he's like, uh-oh, I really stepped in it now.
Did I cover?
Did you like that? He stepped in it.
Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable train system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go.
Until we'll give you the very latest what's going on down on the plains of Auburn and in Tuscaloosa as they get ready next week as kickoff will be Friday night for Auburn, Florida State. So much to get into on this very special edition of Three Man Front. It is 10:20. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on this Thursday. Trey Wallace is going to come the hour from Outkick. Rodney Orr, Rob Pate next hour. 12 noon, Jeff Cohane, who is the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles. He'll join us. Brett Norsworthy, the Southern gentleman from WHBQ Radio, Ole Miss Radio Network. He will join us at 12:30, so a jam-packed show today. And as always, the Courtesy GMC text line is open at 205-834-9450. 1-800-239-WJOX. We were just talking about Auburn getting the field sponsorship. Also tonight, keep your eye on this. I know we'll be at the Jox Kickoff party, but all of us will be following this very closely. But tonight at 7 o'clock, Braylon Womack, who is a 5-star safety from Flowood, Mississippi, he is going to announce the school that he intends to go to. It's between Auburn, Florida, Ohio State, and Texas A&M. Now, Ohio State's websites, they are saying, and this is a direct quote from the Ohio State reporters, Auburn is considered to be the aggressive front runner, end of quote. The official visits for Mr. Womack was Auburn, Florida, Ohio State, and Texas A&M, so that's who it's going to come down to. He is the nation's number 13 overall recruit. He's the number 1 safety, and needless to say, he is the number 1 player out of the state of Mississippi. So this would be, needless to say, a huge get for Auburn. Auburn is currently 37th on the On3 Rivals rankings. They are 54th in the 247. So that is coming up tonight at 7 o'clock.
I don't know how all these rankings work, but 37th, Conrad, I would think that a 5-star gets you into the 20s.
Yeah, it would probably
helps your average rating because of the number of commitments.
Well, yeah, and I'm just going back and some of these guys that they picked up here over the last month or two, where they've gotten a couple 4-star guys, those have moved them up significantly. So yeah, I would think a 5-star you'd probably be in maybe 28th, somewhere in that realm, at least according to the On3 sites. I don't know about what 247 would do because obviously there's a big disparity there between where they have them ranked. But yeah, I would think you'd be somewhere there in the upper 20s, and that's where you start to look at, okay, yeah, top 15 class looks very,
close,
very
strong.
possible.
Even if you only sign 20 kids, you're potentially looking top 15 class.
Yeah, and that's, especially considering where you started and where you have been for the last couple of months, that'd be quite a turnaround.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say anything can happen tonight at 7 o'clock, but this has been trending Auburn's way for a number of weeks.
Yes. Yeah, they felt good about this guy and then the other guys that have already committed. But yeah, I would think that this looks good for Auburn. I know Ronnie told us that top 15 class, he thought that he felt pretty confident they would be able to do that. The question for me is going to be how many guys they end up taking. But when you think about a class, a top 15 class doesn't hurt you. Finishing 40th, that probably hurts you. I'm talking years from now. Now, the transfer portal has changed some of that, but top 15 class not going to kill you.
No, and I mean, I know some people point out, well, if you're top 15, you're probably like 9th in the SEC, which, I mean, that's just kind of the reality of it every year. But I think, I mean, a top 15 class, nothing to be ashamed about. That's a really good spot to be. I know you've had 2 top 10 classes, so maybe some people will be disappointed. But again, all things considered, and who's to say, hey, you go out there, you have success on the field, and you're having the kind of season that a lot of people expect Auburn to have, maybe that top 15 does turn into the possibility of a top 10 or a top 12 type class by the time December rolls around. I
saw a clip yesterday of John Calipari. He was being interviewed, and they were talking about recruiting, and he was absolutely laughing at high school recruiting. He said, I'm not going to name their names, but if you go and you talk to coaches in the college basketball world, they're not even recruiting high school kids anymore. It is strictly transfer portal.
See, and that's a little shocking to me, too, because college, I think we all understand, right? Typically, those guys play immediately that come out of high school, or the big-name guys do. So I would think there'd still be more value in that than maybe there even would be in college football. But I guess not for Coach Cal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't endorsing he was just saying that is the trend of most of the coaches that he has relationships with in college basketball. He was not endorsing it himself because he's done an excellent job throughout his history.
That's
as
his bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the one and dones that he had at the University of Kentucky. But he just said transfer portals got to the point now. And listen, Lane Kiffin, he doesn't spend a lot of time eating bad dinners at people's houses trying to recruit kids in high school.
I was about to say, we're talking about the number 1 kid from the state of Mississippi in Womack. Ole Miss nowhere to be seen in that recruitment.
That's right.
Well, another thing, Lane's personality, I'm sure he can do it, but he doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to be super comfortable in the living room.
No. No.
No, probably
I'm not misreading that, right?
He's more comfortable on social media.
No, I mean, not unless the mom's doing yoga or something.
Well, I'm glad you said it because it was teed up.
I know. I mean, I had to deliver. I mean, it was too easy.
Did you like his latest post of
Johnny's
the,
not here. That's fine.
his latest post of the Georgia State Tennessee scoreboard from however many years ago that was, where they upset Tennessee, and that's what's hanging up in the Ole Miss locker room or the weight room right now. Is hey, don't take them lightly. They beat Tennessee.
There's a big announcement coming in Oxford today.
Yeah,
Did you know that? Mm-hmm.
They're retiring Jackson Dart's jersey.
No, silly.
Are they claiming championships?
I don't know. They may.
They might be.
They may.
That'd be huge if this trend starts.
Yeah, I think they called the painter that painted the numbers in Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think he's in Oxford, Mississippi.
He's got a
today.
non-compete. He can't do it. No.
They got those things up quick in Jordan-Hare.
Yeah, they did.
Not that nothing against.
Well, when I
that,
saw
it's
the
just
story that day and I was
boom.
reading it, and I think it was it might have been from Jason Caldwell, or it might have been JG Tate that said those years will be up in the stadium before the sun sets.
They were.
Goodness gracious,
Yes,
he
they
wasn't
were.
kidding.
Yes, they were.
You saw that guy on the scissor lift just spacing them out.
They look good.
Apparently, Ole Miss is debuting another helmet today.
Oh,
Yep.
maybe the powder blue will be more readily available. I'm still on a 3-year wait for the powder blue.
I'm fortunate I got mine, pulled some strings, got it about a year or so ago. But my theory, nobody's told me this is just me, I think it's going to be a red helmet.
Okay.
So do you go red with the powder blue Ole Miss script on it?
No, I don't think. Well, that would look good.
That
Here's
would
another
look good.
idea: outline of the state of Mississippi with the block M in blue.
That would look good.
Because they do have red jerseys. So
Yeah, no, that would make sense.
I could see that. But as long as they don't mess
What
up
color
with
face
the-
mask?
I don't know.
If you go red helmet, though, we're not going white.
I mean, I would think black, or would you do a red face mask with a red helmet?
Or do you do a navy blue or a lighter blue?
I don't know. We should
Kind
find
of
out
go old
here
school Vestavia.
in just a little while.
Man,
But
the
yeah.
day that Alabama announces one of these, they post a picture of a box on their social media accounts. I am going to be excited because we all know what it's going to be. I mean,
Yeah, the tweet from Ole Miss football was basically it looked like a box and it was covered with obviously some type of draping, and it just said tomorrow.
Conrad, I don't think you're ready for that day at Alabama. When that happens, that means that the program has dropped to all new lows.
you might be right. Got to find a different way to get people's
We're
attention.
gonna have you in a heavily medicated room.
You'll probably have to, because it'll mean Alabama went like 5-7
Exactly.
the year before.
We will talk to Trey Wallace, who is going to be a weekly contributor here on this program from Outkick. Last time we talked to him, we visited with him a good bit of time there in Atlanta, Georgia, covers college football. He will join us next here on Three Man Front. We've got week 0 football coming up this weekend. It will start in Dublin, Ireland. I don't think our next guest is heading over there, but man, he just had the knack last year. Every big game in college football.
He was there.
Trey Wallace from Nick, he was there. And I'm so happy that Trey has agreed to be with us weekly here on Three Man Front as we will talk ball each and every week. Are you heading overseas to the Emerald Isle, or are you staying here stateside this weekend?
No, I couldn't. I mean, I don't care. It could on set down to watch. Just get me. Even get the with Stanford and Hawaii. So it should made it, guys.
Certainly did. It's asked this every day here on the show. Is there another venue overseas that maybe college football, the NFL have not ventured to that you would like to see a game?
I mean, it's interesting that they're going to go to Germany next year. I mean, I do find that one, kind of detailing that Michigan decided to go overseas. I don't know if Sharon Moore is going to be the head coach for that game. But I mean, you look at it, it's going to be very intriguing to see if they try to continue this footprint, because they've done the Ireland thing, and we'll see that again this weekend. And then next year they're doing the Germany thing. And it's like, how far do they want to go? But don't want to. They're not going to make up. I think that's going to play next year. So go to Paris. I'm Singapore, like
Dubai.
I mean, I don't. You better. It's so great trying to do with expansion. Fans involved, but you have to realize. Oh, and so college, that maybe it works, but at the same time, it is interesting to see how they're going to play this out in the future and what's going to be the next stop.
We are so happy that we can probably, at least for the next maybe month or so, we can actually talk football as opposed to house settlement, CFP expansion, and all that kind of stuff. But before we actually do talk X's and O's, you mentioned Sharon Moore in Michigan. When that came out last week, what was your initial impressions, Trey, in regards to what Michigan got or
that they got off, that they, with everything that was going into that, the Committee on Infractions would have liked a postseason ban for at least a year. I know they want to come out and act like they don't want to, but at the same end and everything, Jim Hart, not that Stallion's part was the information Netflix, and to me, because of past, and I out there last week, Tennessee. For manila envelopes and state of Ohio, so we couldn't get him. Recruiting visits when you're not allowed to, and then faking it out and trying to disguise what they were doing. Like if Tennessee wasn't going to get that, Michigan was going to have a hard time with theirs. And I know it's two different types of stories, play on the field and sign stealing compared to paying the players, but at the same time, I look at it and I think, okay, the NCAA is it's pretty much lost the power here. You know, they're going to fine them. That's pretty much it. Like I don't take anything away from any type of recruiting restrictions or or how they're trying to go about, because we knew Michigan was going to appeal it. Once they threw down that fine, it's like, okay, now Michigan's going to come back, try to appeal it, get that docked a little bit, and try to move forward. But I think the other thing too that stood out is they didn't suspend Schroe another game this season. Like if they really wanted to stick it to Michigan and say, look, we don't agree with what you did. We think Schroe was involved more than people are putting on. Forget the show causes that Stallion and Harbaugh got. They let the suspension go into 2026. Why not just suspend them for 3 games this year? Like what's the point of doing it next year? Like if you want to send a message, suspend him for that Oklahoma game. Like that's where you really, per se, drop the hammer. So I think overall, I think all of this was fumbled. And at the same time, Michigan put up a fight, and they threatened lawsuits. How many more lawsuits does the NCAA want to go through?
Hanging out with our friend Trey Wallace, talking college football of Outkick and Fox, joining us here on 3 Man Front on the Higginbotham Hotline. College Football Playoff Selection Committee announces an additional metric, record strength, not strength of schedule for our listeners, but record strength. That's been added. How much of an impact that has moving forward?
I mean, congratulations to the SEC for handing out packets at spring meetings to show that strength of schedule was so hard. I mean, but that's also a sign that, they knew what was coming. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that was an easy tell. I think that when you that meaning, okay, I'm a 5 team, and how's that going to be? I'll just use in a team. Okay. Kind of say take the team, and when we look at the whole schedule at the end of the year, we're going to take that into account more than Indiana beating so-and-so. So, I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but at the end of the day, guys, we still have a committee. Like there's still guys in the room and women that are going to make this decision. So you can throw record strength out there. You can throw different metrics and how you're putting it together. But I look at it, it's still going to come down to a vote. And until they figure out a way to really make that strength of schedule work, and I mean, breaking it down from week 1 to week 13, 14, I still think we're going to have the same type of problems that we've had in years past. But, I mean, at least they're trying, I guess. At least they're trying to come up with different ideas and how they're going to measure out, strength of schedule rankings and what that would look like once we get to the month of November, that first weekend, where CFP rankings are released. But, again, right now, I mean, we just saw, Indiana buy out of some series, against some decent opponents and replace them with Hofford. I think what's going to happen at the end of the day, I think the SEC will move to the 9-game conference schedule. They'll up the strength of schedule even more within their own conference if everything plays out according to plan. And at the same time, I do think down the road, you're going to see the Big Ten, the SEC start playing, like they do in basketball, like an invitational, where a number of teams play each other every year. So, maybe that adds to it. But at the end of the day, I think this was a lot about nothing. They're going to have to prove it first before we believe anything regarding strength of schedule.
Trey, has anything changed since we last saw you in Atlanta that would change your mind how you think the pecking order is going to end up in the Southeastern Conference, or is it pretty much holding the chalk like we discussed in Atlanta?
I mean, I really do think it's kind of holding the chalk. It's can LSU break this regular season opener losing streak going on the road to Clemson? Can that happen? Can Texas go up to Ohio State and block out the noise and win in Columbus? You look at Georgia's schedule. I like what Alabama's going to have this year. I understand the running back situation, but I think they can get through it until the Bulldogs to come to town and they play. I look at it overall, and I still think we're right there. Even, we could throw in Texas, Alabama. You can have Georgia there. You can have LSU. What does Ole Miss look like, with Austin Simmons? I think I know what they're going to look like, but that's so hard to tell. It's even the Texas situation. Like we hear all the hype about Arch, and we get it. Like we understand it. We saw what he did in 2 games last year. But this is a whole different animal. And I give credit to somebody like Arch, too. I mean, I remember him saying at SEC Media Days, like, I don't really know why you guys have got me on this preseason list. I haven't done anything yet, and I respect him for that. So at the same time, we're kind of in a wait-and-see approach because South Carolina could also be a team with Lenora Sellers, and you got Dylan Stewart along that defensive line. Like, there are so many different variables that it's going to go into this season that we could end up where we were last year, where you got a number of SEC teams fighting for that 12th spot. And at the same time, I'm still so, I look at it kind of baffled by a little bit of the schedule that we're going to see in the SEC and some of these tough games that we're going to get in the month of September. But I don't think really anything's changed yet. I do think there's kind of a pecking order here. I do think there's going to be a surprise team this year in the conference. I'm not going to say it's Vanderbilt because I don't want to get run out of the building. I'm not going to say they're going to compete for an SEC championship, but I do think that they cause some problems for opposing teams. But, maybe this is the year that Ole Miss takes that next step. So, again, it could end up looking like last year where you got a number of teams fighting, but I think we know what the pecking order is. But at the end of the day, guys, man, we're not going to know anything until next weekend. Like, we really aren't. And then at that point, we're still not going to know for another 3 to 4 weeks. So I think that everybody kind of needs to hold back a little bit. Don't freak out. Alabama, go down to Florida State and take care of business against a football team that sure is talking a lot. But at the same time, like, you look at the roster, and Alabama's defense should be able to handle that. But again, you just never know. So to me, that's the most fascinating thing heading into next weekend. And I know everybody's paying attention to Texas and Ohio State, but that battle of Death Valley game at Clemson, to me, that might be the best game of the weekend. And man, we haven't even talked about, we're getting like a run back of Beamer ball with South Carolina and Vatech playing in Atlanta. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how fans start freaking out after the first weekend.
Trey, to your point, who is that team maybe that's in the top 15? For me, it's Illinois at number 12, depending on what poll you go to. But who is that team that you think is primed whenever the schedule to be exposed and not to be that team that a lot of people thought they were in the preseason?
Honestly, I think it's going to be Ole Miss this year because I don't trust that defense right now. And again, that could all change. But I think that lost season for them. Look, week 1 or something along those lines, and established a run game. You as a team. On also years. So if I'm LSU, Ole Miss, Texas with a good, with that, probably, but at the same, what they have at the wide receiver ball to him, but you're really going to have to show me something against Ohio State.
He is Trey Wallace, National College Sports Reporter out kicking Fox. You can follow Trey on Twitter, social media, at Trey Wallace _ Trey, we're so excited to have you back for the college football season. You do a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Enjoy week 0, and we'll talk to you next week.
Guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to joining you guys. Headed to Columbus next weekend. So we got ourselves a heck of a season ahead of us, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, buddy.
Trey Wallace, Outkick, and Fox joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Get back to school in a new GMC from Courtesy GMC in Trussville. You'll find the lowest prices in the Southeast at Courtesy GMC. And right now, you can get these amazing deals. How about a GMC Sierra 1500? Save up to $17,000 off a brand new truck. A Sierra 2500 HD. Get up to $13,000 off this powerful heavy-duty pickup. Yukon XL, save up to $5,000 on these top performing SUVs. How about the 2026 Acadias? They have a ride there at Courtesy GMC. I drive the Acadia AT4. I love this off-road oriented trim level. The AT4 is designed for drivers of rugged capability and premium comfort. Every new GMC comes with that 7-year, 100,000-mile power, long-lasting peace of mind. So visit Courtesy GMC today, located in Trussville, just off of I-459 exit 32. You can also browse their inventory at courtesybirmingham.com.
Based on what Trey just told us, Hottie Toddy just went to Hootie Tootie.
You better believe it.
And horns down, Texas fans. We'll discuss it next on Three Man Front. G'day.
10:51. Welcome back. This is Jox, three-man front.
You okay?
I'm great. I'm waiting for the box to be opened up.
That's what they do. Trey Wallace is that team that could be disappointing, that's overranked. The Ole Miss Rebels, I saw the look on your face. That's why, Conrad, they're breaking out this new helmet. Distract. Look over here.
That's
Shiny new helmet. Ooh.
Event at the same time. I just didn't know if you could have two queues open at the same time.
Is that happening at Christmas time?
What is the date of that? Oh, no, it's October the 7th. I'm busy. I got high school football that night. I can't be there.
Yeah.
Perfect for spooky season, Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
What?
I love yeah. Love a good haunted house.
Yeah, I was about to say people like to watch scary things around the holidays.
Do you and Paige frequent haunted houses?
No, we do not go to.
I know Molly doesn't.
No, it was actually funny you said that because the other day Paige said, I feel like we're too old, but I really want to go to a haunted house this year. And I said, well, great. I hope you're free on October 17th, but she's busy that day.
Oh,
so.
okay. Do you remember the $130 million wrongful termination lawsuit by Pat Fitzgerald
I remember that.
against Northwestern?
The hazing thing?
Well, they have settled. There's no details, but the lawsuit is no more. So apparently the university and Pat Fitzgerald have come to an agreement. He had asked for $130 million, so let's just say that he got half of that. It's a pretty good day.
Whew.
Heck, so he got a quarter of it. That's a really good day.
I'll take 10% of it.
I mean, his lawyers probably got a nice little payday there, but yeah, that's $130 million is what he wanted.
Where's Fitzgerald now? Is he with NFL?
He might be bouncing around doing some stuff like that. I don't think I've seen him on a college sideline anywhere. Not really sure. Auburn's final scrimmage of fall camp will be tomorrow night at Jordan-Hare Stadium. This is more of a game day dress rehearsal for Waco because it'll be 1 week in front of their game in Texas. Meanwhile, some news out of Tuscaloosa. They are practicing as we speak. Kalen DeBoer, he will meet with the media coming up at 11:30. But they have officially named the team captains for the 2025 season for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, Ty Simpson. Those are your 4 permanent captains that they will be able to have their hands and feet embossed in concrete outside of Denny Chimes.
Didn't we have Tim on?
Tim Keenan?
At Media Days, yeah.
Sure did.
Golly.
He broke my hand.
Yeah, I was about to say, he had
those hands?
Yeah. He had a handshake.
He was a
sure.
cool dude. He was really nice.
He might
Very,
take up 2
very
spaces
nice.
with those hands.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but yeah, very nice, very well spoken. Had the cool chain on too when we saw him.
That is a large human being.
And the thing I loved about it is like he wanted to hang with us. Like he realized that this was a cool group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would have stayed in.
Because the Alabama people say, "Hey, we got to get you to." And he was like, "Hey."
Yeah, he's like, no, these 2 guys, they're a little longer in the tooth, but I feel like that.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
I want to hang.
No, he was nice, and that's good for Deontay Lawson. He's now a 2-time captain. He
How
was
about
a
that?
captain last year as well, so very cool for him.
Yep. Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, and Ty Simpson. They have been made the permanent captains for the Alabama Crimson Tide in 2025.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Make Conrad proud. How about Texas? They go 9-3. What does that mean for Arch? Does he declare for the draft?
Right.
Does he transfer?
Granddaddy was right.
Transfers to Ole Miss to finish his eligibility.
For the lack of quarterback development.
There it is.
Yep.
He wears number 18 for his granddaddy.
Oh, goodness.
He wears 16 now for his uncle.
There won't be enough state troopers, that crowd.
Welcome in. Hour number 2, three-man front on this Thursday. We'll go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, talk to Rodney Orr coming up. Later this hour, Rob Pate down at Auburn. 12 noon, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Cohane, will join the program. And Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio. He will be along in his weekly spot, 12:30.
Well, close to college football, and the place to go check out all the action is Big Whiskey's. They're going to have all the games on in the bar on the big screen, and they're also a great place for food of all varieties. They have a full menu with apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap. And like I said, plenty of screens so that you can catch all of the football action all season long. They also offer different food and drink specials for each day of the week. They have happy hour, and the kitchen is open late every night. So go check them out in the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline from Tyler and joins us. Rodney, I hope you're doing well on this Thursday.
I am doing well, guys. How are y'all doing?
We are doing fantastic. Week 0 is just a couple days away. I know we've got a very short list of games. It will be a lot of fun finally to get the season kicked off. But before we start talking about other things around the Alabama program, just wanted to get your thoughts on Bama this morning. Elsford, Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, and Ty Simpson as permanent captains for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great group. I really do. I mean, all of those guys been leaders, and I think there's probably a couple other guys that would have been really well qualified for that as well. But I think that's an outstanding group for sure.
For somebody who knows the running back room like you do, what is the impact, at least for the first part of the season, with the absence of Jam Miller?
Well, I think first of all, he's another guy that's a leader. I think great leadership, having him out there on the field, the experience that he has. I think when you look at the group that they have, Washington, Louisiana, the transfer, he experienced any of the that I think they're going to miss is all the little nuance. Those guys in those areas to why the hope is that he will be back by the Georgia game.
Rodney, in regards to scrimmage number 2, was it pretty much basically what you saw in scrimmage 1, just the intel that you got after Saturday's scrimmage at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much very similar, the feedback. I think there was a few things, maybe there was some concerns about the kicking game that were mentioned, the punting, the place kicking, even though DeBoer continues to say that both Connor Talty, the place kicker, and Blake Dowd, the punter, and Alex Esper, they just haven't really carried. Seems to be something they concern. Simpson continues to turn the ball over, and they all. I thought overall it was pretty much the same. The scrimmage that, other than the injury to Jam Miller, most everything was pretty positive.
Now, a week and a half later, the offensive line, whether it be by injuries there at the position or lack of experience in just getting reps, what does that group look like as we head into week 1?
Hearing a lot of positive things about the group overall from both observed a chance to be really, obviously with Wilkins, and now being out, don't really to be for Gino Van Dewberry. You've got a solid group. It's that are providing guard and some eyes. Jackson. They continue to build
of being really, really well if you can chew gum and walk across the floor at the same time. And Deion Lee, he is an individual that has turned a lot of heads. Even Kane Womack yesterday, he was mentioning him potentially being a starter. For those that don't remember the recruitment of Deion Lee bring to the table for the Alabama defense, just kind of remind everybody how good this kid can potentially be.
Yeah. No, he come out of California. He's a 5-star. Alabama and Oregon and USC and several other top programs obviously were chasing him really hard, and he ended up here. And since the day he got here, John Lee do athletic, the position, all of the things. And he just even a little does look. Honestly, I was corner time seeing.
Yeah.
You think back, look. So now, Harry, they're going to.
Rodney, what is your expectation with Ryan Grubb running the offense? Just the eye test, how it will look, how much different will it look for Alabama fans when they're watching as the Tide takes on Florida State?
Well, I think that's going to watch the scrimmages. Grubb made the comment that the offense will go as far as we can run the ball. And so they want to have a real physical presence up front. They want to run the ball with some physicality, but they also want to be able to obviously distribute the ball around the field. And I think Ty Simpson is the key to that. He has had 2 really good scrimmages. He's had a great camp overall. He's shown the ability to that he understands where his receivers are. He's thrown the ball accurately. He's made good choices and decisions. So when you combine those 2 and his ability to throw the ball down the field, which he does, he has a strong arm, and the receivers that they have, I think there's a feeling among a lot of people that this has a chance to not only be an extremely balanced offense, but one that could be very, very explosive.
Talking to Rodney Orr from Tider Insider, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. If there's a position group to you, Rodney, that you are having a little bit of pause or concern going into the start of the season, is there a particular group that for you want to see maybe a little bit more improvement in regards to the way the season goes along, because that group potentially could hold Alabama back?
Yeah, I think, again, based on kind of what I've heard, the kicking game would be one, which we mentioned. So that's certainly something that keeps coming up. But I think I think the defensive line has a chance to be really, really good. I just think the younger players behind them, and we keep hearing I think that we know James Keenan really, really is too. Assistant pass. Interesting. It's Noah Carter. Originally that most dominant look. I think he had at least rushers. That back, I think that's a real key right there for this defense.
Rodney, with your members there on Tider Insider, what seems to be the overwhelming theme of concern, whether it be position group or certain player?
The overwhelming theme of concern?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I think it's the kicking game. That's what keeps coming up the most right now. As far as this team is concerned, obviously, this at here in, and he has, but he faced the in game passes. We think the things that we hear that Ty's going to be able to handle the job, and he's going to do a really good job. We think he's got all the skills, all the tools, but again, it's that lack of experience, and how does he handle it when the bullets start to fly? That's something that remains to be seen.
That is Rodney Orr, joins us every Thursday here on Three Man Front. Rodney, take one last deep breath. Get all those things around the house that you need to knock out, because when we start next week, it's game week. So we've got a long haul for the next few months. So you need to get everything done. You need to get done before we get.
Pat, I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to get everything done that I need to get done.
Me neither. Well,
if you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a minute. But hey, listen, Rodney, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks. That's Rodney Orr joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, your source for live music and all the sports you want to watch on incredible screens is the Finnick right there near Railroad Park. The Finnick's your front row seat to the best entertainment with the massive screens, the explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and it's certainly bolder. They got a new restaurant menu that's certainly worth cheering for. They got amazing wings that are going to win MVPs and wood-fire grilled burgers stacked like your fantasy team. Steaks are amazing. You're going to forget there's a game on. Also delicious salads, fresh seafood, and a large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule, it includes live acoustic acts Wednesday through Friday. So tonight, beginning at 5:30, you got live music and you got live bands 10 o'clock on Friday. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are all dedicated to sports. That means college football. That means the NFL. No live music to get in the way this football season at the Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Well, Tommy Castellanos, he saw a microphone. He opened his mouth. He said something. A lot of people questioned what he said. We'll play it for you next here on Three Man Front. It is 11:17. Welcome back to Three Man. It's 11:17. Welcome back to Three Man Front. Appreciate Rodney Orr joining us. 11:45. We'll go to Auburn and talk to Rob Pate as the Auburn Tigers just 8 days away from kickoff against the Baylor Bears. Are you seeing cracks in your foundation? Are your doors and windows sticking? These aren't just minor problems. They're signs of a serious issue that will only get worse over time. Protect your home by calling Alabama Professional Services, 205-951-18. The pros, they really know their stuff. They'll inspect your foundation, clearly explain the problem, give you an honest, pressure-free solution. They can fix your foundation and even tackle that sinking driveway or patio with their fast and clean poly-level system. Call them today at APS, protecting Alabama since 1977, and they'll protect yours too. Panos. He made a very interesting statement not too long ago in regards to his play in the ACC when he was at Boston College, what he thought about Nick Saban, how he's going to be able to perform against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Well, he got back in front of a microphone and had this to say about the defense that he sees every single day there in Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, I think Coach White and our defense is the hardest defense I'll see all year. Just schematically and stuff like that, what they do. It's hard moving parts on their end, but it's helped me a lot and helped me be better and helped me progress as a quarterback and as a just eat it or throw it away and stuff like that, and know when the play is over. So I think seeing them every day for the last 3 weeks has helped me a lot and progress as a.
So that's the best defense he's going to see all year long.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm glad they're helping him grow because he said earlier this offseason that nobody could stop him in the ACC. So.
Castellanos is the soundbite that just keeps giving.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe nobody in the country and people who know college football that talk about it and all of these months of saying, well, Florida State, they're certainly not going to be as bad as 2-10 like they were a year ago. They're going to be better, but they're going to be markedly better.
Yeah, I honestly don't anticipate them to be as bad as they were last year.
If I was Alabama, I would be more concerned with what Gus Malzahn might run that you haven't seen and just knowing his history, and with Thomas Castellanos than I would be concerned with moving the ball on a Florida State defense.
I have already accepted that 5 minutes into that game next Saturday, Florida State will be winning 7-0. I've pretty much accepted
not a bad theory.
That's probably something you can prepare yourself for. Because he's had a long time to game plan the opening drive and exactly how that's going to look, and he knows. I know it's a different staff, it's different personnel, but
first game of the season,
he knows how to get after Alabama. He does.
Defense, you make a guy make a split-second decision, make him guess. If he's wrong, frees up somebody.
I would do what Vanderbilt did last year, just do those quick little passes, run the football, let Thomas Castellanos not throw the ball more than 5 yards through the air, just quick
Before you
decisions.
Get that game flow, that would be the time that you would see Gus run something like that.
Yep.
Gotcha. The good news for Alabama is if it was like it at UCF, the scripted plays, you jump up to a 3-touchdown lead, and then all of a sudden, where did the offense go?
That is the concern of the Gus Malzahn offense, and hey, plus everything we've heard about Alabama, at least in the scrimmages, right, is they have been pretty quick to score on the Alabama defense in scrimmages. So maybe it's a quick response from the offense, and people start to feel a little better. But yeah, I think Florida State, they're going to have a good game plan. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Alabama, but it's certainly a game that you should be able to win comfortably.
You still like Alabama 13.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the bet with FSU, Dave, it's the day of the game or the week of the game?
It is the day of the game.
The day of the game.
He corrected me. Yep,
okay,
it is the day
whatever the
of
point
the
spread
game.
is. Okay, hopefully we'll see FSU Dave tonight. I think he'll be with the one carrying the spear. I'm not sure if they let him bring that into the stadium. He rides a horse to the stadium and he has the spear. I'm not sure if the Barons will let him in with the spear.
Yeah.
Safety issue with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah. Deion Sanders. Man, I love when I hear these speeches that he gives his players. I really do. I'm not saying that being a smart aleck. I'm being truthful when I say this. Take a listen to Coach Deion Sanders as he is giving instructions to his players as the first day of school starts in Boulder.
No slides. If I see you with, I'm going to send people to campus tomorrow. If I see you with slides on campus, it's going to be a problem. If I see you with a hoodie on in class or some headphones on in class, it's going to be a problem. If I see you sitting in the back of the classroom, it's going to be a problem. Do we understand that? So GAs, coaches, appoint your guys, whoever is going on campus, because I want classes being checked tomorrow, the ones that has those classes. And if you're online, and you have online classes, and you don't have a shirt on, or you got a white beat on, or you have some stupid on that causes a distraction, or you walk around during that online session, it's going to be a problem. We good with that, guys? Sure. Now.
I love it. If you're wearing anything stupid, like Conrad's shoes he wears to work.
I was just about to say I could not play for Deion.
If you're wearing a wife beater, he's going to have a problem. I love it. How do you not love what he just told his team?
No, this is great. I mean, you've heard things in the past for him about warning players of distractions and things that can come with the attention that program gets now, and staying focused and not letting people take advantage. He gives very good life advice, I feel like, to his players, and it comes from somebody that clearly has had it all at some point in his life and has found a way to navigate it. And I applaud him.
I have no issue with it. I mean, Deion's old school.
All right, so you can't wear slides on campus.
He's very cutting edge in others.
No hoodies in class.
No hoodies in class.
Or headphones.
You have to sit. You can't sit in the back of the class.
That's a good rule.
So what I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing a hoodie. I can't wear this.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, most days I could play in that program and not be penalized. Conrad, you'd be in trouble.
I would be in trouble.
Now, see, I couldn't play for Deion because I always sat in the back of the room. All my classes. I did that strategically.
It was a power position.
Why? So you wouldn't get called on for stuff?
Well, no, I didn't mind that. It's just the way things were set up when I went to college, we were on terms. And at UAB, we had 2-hour classes. So they would give us a break.
Gotcha.
At like the 55-minute mark. They would let you go out and smoke, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever.
And sometimes you wouldn't go back for the second half?
I would say 95% of my college life, I was at the fraternity house. I was not going back for the second. I would befriend somebody in the class like Andy Kennedy, and I would say, hey, can I get your notes? If I miss anything.
Because Andy had to be in there for both sessions, or he just chose to?
No, we had a history class together. Andy was a very good student.
I tried to sit in the back of the class when I was in college, but there was one class in particular I wanted the professor to know that I was there.
Yeah, see, I was the direct opposite. Like
with this particular class, he needed to know that I was there.
Okay.
It helped.
No.
That's good.
So I like to keep my options open. So I would be in the back of the classroom, and then listen, if I wanted to stick around, I stuck around.
Well, from a security standpoint, I always think about that. And I know it sounds crazy, but we live in a crazy world. No, it's just they call it the power seat, where you're basically set up at such a position in a public place. There's nothing behind you. You can see everything in front of you, and then if you had to respond, you would.
Yes.
But I love those rules. I mean, it's about representing your product, representing the football team, and not wearing slides, not wearing a hoodie. You're not sitting in the back of the classroom. If you're on a Zoom call, you can't be wearing a wife beater.
Gotta be paying attention.
You can't be wearing something stupid.
Yeah, can't be doing the dishes during your online
Was this
class.
in place last year?
I don't remember hearing this last year. I'm sure that there was some form of rules, but this is the first time that we actually had audio of him saying that.
If Travis Hunter wanted to wear a bathing suit to class, I'd tell him, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Deion probably would have made an exception for
Wouldn't you?
for a couple of those
It's all
guys.
you, buddy.
Well, and this is a little different, but it goes back to what we heard from Rich Rod earlier this year, right? No TikTok or whatever it was, and when you're in the facility, all of those kinds of. I like go back to the old school style of these rules. Like make sure the focus is football, right? All these kids love to say, "Well, I'm not here to play school." Okay, you're here to play football. And so if you're here to play football, you're going to focus on that.
But
you're going to be a darn good student while you're at it.
And you're right. Coaches say it, and it sounds like a really, really good statement. Maybe they mean it, but it gets lost. But I do believe that Deion is genuine when he says that he's trying to develop young men and young men of character to be men, to be good fathers, to be good husbands.
Well, look at what they did.
Stewards.
Setting up that program that he did. I believe it was last year.
Yeah.
For the kid.
For the kids of players.
Yeah.
He's doing the things that it's not just talk. I mean, there's actions with what Deion Sanders.
I do believe there, and I think it's a small percentage, but there's a percentages of coaches that they could care less.
Yeah, and there's always going to be those people, but I think Deion has the foresight to understand. Like, he's gone to the NFL, he knows what it takes to make it in the NFL, and he knows the majority of guys on his team are not going to make that, right? But he wants them to still have ways to be successful in life and not fall back into maybe the way that they lived before, and I think that's admirable.
Another stormy day in Trussville, Vestavia, Homewood, and Gardendale. The wind was howling, torrential rains across our area. Even if your roof looks like it's okay from the ground, those strong winds and heavy downpours could be causing damage you can't see, like loose shingles or hidden leaks. Don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster. Abide Roofing is here to help you today. Call them 205-941-6223. Don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster. They're ready to help you today. It's a free, no-pressure roof inspection to make sure your home is safe. And if the storm left you with more than just yard, they also handle tree removal. Abide Roofing has your back, no matter the situation. They'll even work directly with your insurance company that you get what you need to protect your home moving forward. 205-941-6223 to Abide Roofing. Go to their website.
Enhanced metrics announced by the College Football Playoff Committee. What it means, what it potentially could have meant last year. We'll get to it next. Three-Man Front. .31, always a fun Thursday during the college football season. It's officially college football season. Week 0, we continued weekly Bet It or Forget It, the inaugural, the reigning champion, Molly G. Robinson. And Conrad will try to scheme and maybe talk strategy tonight, Conrad, about making sure that this doesn't happen again with Molly, because she's insufferable when she wins. We all know that.
I have not mentioned it all year.
You have not. I'm actually giving you
until
an opportunity
yesterday,
to-
and then
Until
she did.
yesterday.
She did.
Until you guys brought it up.
It felt
I
like she
truly
was-
had
no,
forgotten.
She told me to bring it up. She said,
really-
"Hey Pat, don't forget bring it
She
up. I
set
won
us up
last
for
year."
that. Oh, I won. I had completely forgot you didn't forget.
No, I didn't.
No, she told me to bring it up, and I did.
You guys are lying.
Mhm.
That's such a strong word. I like to use the word embellish.
Well, you're not telling the truth.
So has General Clark and the College Football Playoff Committee, have they listened to the outcry of coaches, administrators, and college football fans like us? On the surface, it looks like they have. A new added metric of record strength is going to help the committee determine how teams perform against their schedule, rewarding those that beat high-quality opponents while minimizing the penalty of losing to one. They're also going to provide minimal reward for beating a lower-quality opponent while imposing a greater penalty for losing to one. My question is, and I love that they're doing this, so obviously we're tweaking the system, we're tweaking the way, guys, that we evaluate teams. How much does this change the college football playoff field from a year ago? Is Indiana still that darling team?
Please tell me SMU's not in.
Is SMU still in? Do we have another representative from the SEC? Is Alabama in? And how much is this going to be weighted? You can add it in there, but still, there's still going to be a lack of transparency.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting breakdown of this on Twitter last night, and it was basically, okay, so this is good, but then how do you differentiate between certain schedules? And somebody brought up the example of, okay, if you're a college football team and you play a 12-game schedule and you play 10 games against high school opponents, but then you play 2 games against the 1985 Bears, that's a pretty difficult schedule, right? Because you're not going to win the 2 games against the 1985 Bears, but you're probably going to win the 10 other games. Now, what if you played 12 games against Wake Forest? You played Wake Forest every game. They're an average power team, maybe a little below average. A lot of teams could go 12-0 against them, like the Alabamas, the Georgias, maybe the Auburns of the world, right? But for a lot of other schools, you might be going 7-5 against a schedule like that. But how do you compare those two types of schedules, right? Where you have all power conferences versus maybe a team that plays a lot of cupcakes or a lot of lower level opponents, but they have 2 or 3 really big matchups on their
The skeptic in me tells me this is to pacify the people like me that have been on the soapbox and so many others since we got that announcement last year about the no transparency, and they're going to keep this. And I still think that this is to kind of calm people like me down and give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to get it right. And maybe they do. The skeptic in me tells me that we still are scratching our heads over a couple of decisions, and we're going to go back to the record strength metric and go, how was this not used? Or how was it used? Because apparently it didn't make a difference.
Well, and who's to say, somebody at Reese Davis, when they do the ranking reveals, right? He asked them on TV, well, how much did strength of schedule factor into this decision between why you have, Alabama 12 and Ole Miss 13? Oh, it was a factor. Yeah, we looked and compared their 2 schedules, and we viewed that Alabama's was slightly ahead of Ole Miss, and that's why it's there.
Well,
but why?
But
what's the reasoning for that?
So the last part of this, how are they going to break it down? Because they're also going to provide minimal reward for beating a lower quality opponent while imposing a greater penalty for losing to one. So
it sounds like
what is the grade of a lower? Yeah, so Alabama losing to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma last year in the eyes of the committee, would that be a lower quality opponent, or they play in the SEC? Vanderbilt, that was one of the better Vanderbilt teams we've seen. What did Oklahoma win? 5-6 games last year?
Mm-hmm. But see, then how do you weigh? All right, let's say you lose to a 5-7 Oklahoma again, but then you beat Georgia, right? Does that Georgia win cancel out the Oklahoma? Yeah, like how do you weigh those two things against each other?
I just hope they have the transparency. I mean, I don't care what kind of new metric you come up with, as long as you give us access to it. I mean, last year when I was on the Zoom call and they told us that there were going to be 30 different metrics that were going to be involved in determining what their rankings were going to be each week. And then when we said, okay, well, how will we have access to those? Well, you'll get access to this and that, but you're not going to get the proprietary information of the company that we are contracting to provide that information to us. So if they're doing this is fantastic. It's great. It sounds good. But if we still don't know what's behind the curtain, we're
Right.
still going to be critical
Yeah,
of whatever the rankings are.
Anything that's subjective, that's why I go back to, okay, well, they heard the criticism and they're going to ensure us and we can trust that they are actually using this metric. So that's not a talking point by commissioners if their teams don't get in from certain conferences at the end of the year or fans. But how is it being used? How is it being weighted? Those question marks are still going to be there according to this. We're not going to get that transparency.
I just hope we get away from Michigan's game control against Maryland was just so impressive because now if they're, I guess, kind of openly declaring, well, some opponents are lesser quality than others, maybe you stop giving the benefit of the doubt for overperforming against bad teams, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's what Indiana did last year, right? I think that's a lot of the reason Indiana got in. It's not because of who they beat, it's because of how they beat them, right? Because they dominated those opponents. So maybe that still rules the day this year. Maybe not. It sounds like they're trying though, but are they actually?
Why don't let's move to a 24 team. Let's get the 12 teams that we believe as college football fans who watch it deserve to be in. And then the other 12 that we all look at and go, whatever. Look at that schedule. Put them in a bracket and let's do it. Eventually we're going to get there to make everybody happy and what's good for the whole of college football, Conrad.
Make it like an all-star game, right? The fan vote. Half committee, half fan vote. People would love that.
But you have to pay for every time that you vote.
Well,
and that's a way as an additional revenue stream.
There you go. There you go.
Now it pays to be on the college football playoff committee. And all of that money just goes to committee members.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it doesn't go to the schools. It just goes to the committee.
And based on the people they've had on those committees, none of those people need money.
Well, they need to stock their snack room while they're deliberating.
Week 0 is just 2 days away, and the very first game of the year is in Dublin, Ireland. And I know Molly's got her Nebraska sweatshirt on now, but earlier today she was wearing her Dublin. What does it say?
Says Dublin Shenanigans Team. It's one of the shirts I got.
Were you part of the Shenanigans team?
Oh, of course.
Oh, wow. How about that?
But I had a golf club called a Shillelagh one time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Oh. It was a great little club from fairway.
So the game in Dublin, we asked a Twitter poll question today.
Yeah, if Alabama or Auburn agreed to play an opponent in Ireland, would you make an attempt to go see them play?
So what's the options?
Heck yes. I can't read that, Pat.
What do you mean you can't read it?
League.
Didn't you go to school? Did you go to Nebraska?
It's not like he hand wrote it.
Teach you to.
I don't speak Gaelic.
We'll try.
A league in Ardol. Or Nilgo Rabmath again.
What in the world?
What is she reading?
I have no idea.
I'm reading what Pat wrote down for me to read.
Try it again.
Heck yes. And nil. I'm not going to try that again.
That's no fun. Try it again.
Like you're setting me up.
I'm not setting you up.
Heck yes. A league in Ardol. What is that? Nilgo Rabd.
That's right. Sound it out, Molly. Sound it out.
All right. Well, what are people voting?
I'm assuming that's no.
Maybe we should have options. Vote on what Molly is actually trying to say.
You want to give it a try?
I think Molly did a great job.
I'm assuming no, and that's at 66%, unfortunately. People are lame.
I think it's because people just can't understand what the question. I mean, I think it kind of speaks for itself, but also.
Just do the translation. It's pretty easy.
Oh.
I didn't know you were bilingual.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
Rolled right off his tongue.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Not
even
why.
Irish.
See, that sounded angry, though. That was like almost like a Russian thing because
we deal with that every day. Irish folks are genuinely angry people. Unless they've been drinking.
Until they get that Guinness in the belly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then they love you. Love you like my brother.
Man, I
from
thought
another mother.
That's right. You got to split the G.
I thought you guys would find that funny.
It is funny. Is our Gaelic guy, is he going to be on the call?
I hope so.
I hope so.
We can only hope.
I tell you what, let's get everyone fired up for week 0.
Yeah.
Some of the highlights from last year's college football season.
Under head coach Mike Norvell, Florida State has blocked 5 kicks in opponent's season openers. 3 against Georgia Tech. Snap, spot, kick is on the way. Headed through the uprights. It's good. And Georgia Tech has shocked the Seminoles here in Dublin.
Ball on the near side hash. Moss and company with 13 seconds. Calls for the snap. Hands it off to Marks. Marks with room up the middle, and Marks into the end zone on the ground. And USC takes a 26-20 lead with 8 seconds remaining here in Las Vegas. Now make it 5 straight to start the season. The Tigers just cannot grab victory.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country.
From the 43-yard line for Colorado, here's the ball game. Snap back to Deion Sanders. Rolls left, has time, being chased. He throws it for the end zone. It is... Oh, he may have caught it. He did! It's a catch for a touchdown by LaJonte Wester on the last play in regulation.
From the 25, Milroe will sling it, far sideline, near sideline rather, and Williams makes an adjustment, makes the catch, spins away from 2 Georgia defenders, breaks away from another, and he's going to go in the end zone for a touchdown up the near sideline. We had 2 guys, couldn't catch him. Snap back to Beck in the pocket, thrown for the end zone in the back corner. It's intercepted. Trying to go to Colby Young. Pass was short, intercepted by Brown, the freshman cornerback.
Foreman behind him, 3 deep. Salter running to his right. Salter throws in the right sideline, out of bounds. The clock is expired. Give me liberty. Kennesaw State ends the undefeated season for the Flames and secures its first ever FBS victory.
4 seconds to go. You're an offensive receiver. Keep that ball alive. Last play. Hail Mary. Huff gets it off. Gets to the end zone. And it's gone! Touchdown! Cam Vaughn behind the pile. Incredible!
The referee looks at his watch. He blows the whistle. It's the greatest day. And every man, woman, and child stands to applaud. Pouring joys. They have pulled off the unthinkable. Gallium Abu.
See, Molly, that was Gaelic. He had no problem saying it.
Sorry. I'll brush up on my Gaelic.
Please do. I mean, you went over there. You're the only person on the show that's been to Ireland, and you could not read Gaelic.
No, you're right. I couldn't.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Homework.
Okay.
Be fluent in Gaelic by tonight.
The Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand now for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
Coming up next, Rob Pate, former Auburn DB. We will talk to him about the game upcoming for the Auburn Tigers against the Baylor Bears. That's next. 11:49 here on Jox. Top of the hour, we will talk to the play-by-play announcer for the Florida State Seminoles. Jeff Cohane will join the program. We'll get a preview of the Florida State Seminoles, including that opening game against the Alabama Crimson Tide at the brand new refurbished Doak Campbell Stadium. Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, the famous former Auburn DB, of course, now the Entrepreneur of the Year down in Lee, Rob Pate. He's also a doctor in his spare time. How about that?
He's a great eye doctor.
Absolutely. Rob Pate joins us now on Three Man Front. Dr. Pate, I hope you're doing well on this beautiful.
I'm doing great, man. How are y'all?
We are doing fantastic. All right, so here we are, 8 days away. Auburn Tigers getting ready to go to Texas. Just take us and put us a player as you're this close from actually playing somebody different. What's the feeling like as you're heading into that next week of preparation for an actual game?
Honestly, I think nervous, a higher to see and reach that you're going to try. You kind of weed it to get acclimated at the 6 and see which guys that hit. Try to Saturday afternoon. Team that's about can we be united from home, and there's a national the West several times. Good, so we'll.
We focus naturally on the offense and Jackson Arnold and all those talented wide receivers, the offensive line, but the defense, I'm hearing a lot of positive things coming out that Jay Durkin defense, especially in the defensive backfield, a position used to play, might be better than advertised.
Yeah, that's been the talk of camp, is that the defense has just been dominant, and it really puts up front. You know, I think the biggest surprise is what's happening between the tackles with some of these young kids and some of the transfers that have come in, and frankly, some of the guys that have been there for a while on campus, but just haven't really stepped into the shoes that I think those guys. Back. It's keeping because they're extremely talented. It's about making for those guys means the front take up some space and that just makes life so much. Defensive front, and it can make your defense. You know, I think that they're going playing steady football ahead of them.
In regards to the offensive scheme, obviously the quarterback is different than what it was last year. Jackson Arnold was one of the top guys in the transfer portal that Auburn went and was able to get. Do you see new wrinkles to what we saw last year from a schematic standpoint offensively? Jackson Arnold, what's just your personal anticipation of the way the offense is going to look?
I definitely think they're going to want to use his legs that we just haven't seen. I think, you know, you go back to Peyton Thorne, use his legs. I think he that maybe it wasn't athleticism at that position, and that can open things up. And having and I mean, you're not accounting for that. Coordinators can take off and run. That's extremely difficult. A ton of our going to have to make decisions. Coach Freeze throwing a vibe know when that is 20 years ago. Executing Jackson Arnold confidence and
30 seconds.
By the way, he's
Rob Pate, unfortunately, sales started dropping out. We will ask Rob about Auburn. That's what I wanted, Conrad, the reaction of Rob to the claiming of the titles. We'll talk to him next week as we get ready for Auburn and Baylor. We appreciate Rob joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Our Southern gentleman, along with the FSU play-by-play man, going to join us. It is a college football Thursday. We got to wait, three-man front on Jox.
As we begin the third hour of Three-Man Front on this Thursday, we're just a couple days away from week 0 being kicked off. And, of course, Alabama's getting ready for what's going to happen 9 days from now in Tallahassee, Florida, as the Alabama Crimson Tide will go on the road as Kalen DeBoer. Big game on the road, and, of course, a big game for Florida State as well after coming off a 2-win season last year. And joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline to preview the upcoming season for the Florida State Seminoles and a brief look at next week's game as Alabama will head south is Jeff Cole, voice of the Florida State Seminoles. He joins us now on Three-Man Front. Jeff, I hope you're doing down in the Panhandle.
I am doing fantastic. It is great to be on with you guys and great to be on in Birmingham. Town and guys, we make
no, listen, yeah, we do it, and we start. So yeah, we are ready to go. Before we start talking about this year's team, I'm just curious because from a group of folks that we love college football, and we follow ACC football not as closely as the Southeastern Conference, but if you look back to 2024. Is there anything in particular that you could highlight areas in which you thought that was the reason why Florida State witnessed a season that they had never seen before in school history?
Oh, yeah, that wasn't a whole lot of fun, guys. That was a tough fall, to say the least, especially coming off of a 13-win season and winning at 1.19 games in a row. There was a together. He just programmed a lot of talent, obviously, and deals and guys make some recruiting. We're senior playing games. By Georgia. Have bad alpha. Got this team couldn't stop out of just it's all hitting at one time, and it just was something they could not get back under control, unfortunately.
And Jeff, changes in the offseason because of that 2-10 season from a year ago, especially with the coaching staff, not to mention the roster, but sticking with the coaching staff. Gus Malzahn leaving his post as the head man at UCF. We are very familiar. Of course, you head man at Auburn. Oh, yeah. Why did Coach Norvell choose to tap Gus Malzahn, and what does he bring to this offense, the personnel that it has in it?
Yeah, well, as you guys know, I mean, when you think of Gus, you think of offense, and you think of, wizardry, and you think of creativity and putting guys in spots to succeed and utilizing the talent that he has in creative ways. And, Gus even said, he said, look, I was really not interested in being tired. And so when him those work together. 2008 at Tulsa, Mike staff with as well. It's offense. Mike Norsworthy staff also. You think of the excitement to be able to get the and Tommy a few years ago. Excited to see that smells on it. A huge, but as this team, the season moves along as well.
Jeff Cohane joins us here on the program. He is the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, getting ready for the opening game against the Alabama Crimson Tide coming up a week from Saturday. Let's stay on the coordinator conversation for a moment. Let's stay on the coordinator conversation for a moment because last year Florida State in the ACC in total defense. So Mike Norvell, what does he do? Florida State in the ACC in total defense. So Mike Norvell, what does he do? He goes out and he hires Tony White from Nebraska. And Nebraska had a really top-notch defense last year. Tony White from Nebraska. Nebraska had a really top-notch defense last year. What are you hearing on that side of the ball? What Tony White has been able to bring to the table?
Well, Tony White has brought a high level of expectations, and I think it may, to a certain guys, and publicly about where, early on as effort on a day-by-day basis. Some other guys have White has brought a new attitude. CLA and the time head coach of that. He's going to show different areas. I think he here at so to put the pressure situations fun to follow. Did not look the ball.
What is the expectation for quarterback and transfer quarterback Tommy Castellanos in this Gus Malzahn offense, and how has the Florida State fan base received his comments publicly when talking about the first opponent, the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I think the expectation is for him to go out and be great, quite honestly. I mean, Florida State's a place that has in the national. State's a place that has in the national. Compete with Alabama and with all the college football here, scrutiny that it does at every other, and so he's here going off one, and Mike, and I embrace that. He did have the comments going up against Bama. Those back to say at the ACC kickoff, but I thought he did a nice job in discussing it after the fact and say, look, I'm just trying to instill some confidence into my guys. This group won 2 games a year ago, and we need to go out and we have to play confidently because we know we're going to have to beat some great teams if we're going to have a shot to be a team in the college football playoff here this season. So, he's embraced the opportunity. His teammates have really rallied behind him. And from a fan base perspective, after a season ago where we didn't really hear a lot from the quarterback position the entire year, it was a different feel, but I think the Florida State fan base likes his confidence, and they're excited to see what he can do as a dual threat quarterback in this offense.
Jeff Cohane joins us, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles here on Three Man Front. Many rosters nowadays, it's a turnover all the time. It churns almost on a yearly basis now because of the transfer portal. Last year, it was certainly something that Florida State, they dipped heavily in. And to be honest, those transfer portal additions did not pan out. In regards to what is on the roster this year, do they feel more confident around the team that they're going to be able to get a few more hits than misses on this year's roster additions?
Well, that's the hope, obviously, and 49 new players on this roster. I mean, you look at every level, and it's doused in newcomers, the offensive line, the quarterback, There's newcomers at running back, wide receiver, tight end, the defensive line, linebackers. The secondary is an area where you do have a higher majority of returners, but Jeremiah Wilson, the Houston transfer who was with Tony White at Syracuse, has emerged as one of the vocal leaders, even though he got here after spring football in the secondary room at a cornerback spot. So, yeah, it's a team that is definitely going to have to rely on that. They're going to have to rely on these newcomers. And Mike Norvell has mentioned that in the offseason, this group has done a fantastic job of getting together on their own. The coaching staff did not have to force these guys to connect and spend as much time together and hang out. And I think that is an example of the veteran leadership that they brought in, the talent and experience that they brought in. And so it's a group that has a lot of questions. We're all going to find out together in a lot of ways versus Bama on the 30th. But I know the coaching staff has liked so far how this team has been able to connect and build some chemistry during fall camp.
So whether they win or lose against Alabama, does an outcome, let's say a win, does that change your personal outlook of what this team can do ceiling-wise this year? Or whether they win or lose, it's pretty much maybe where you feel like this team is capable of for 2025?
The first time we're going to see them, guys, is August 30th. Yeah, if they great doing it, and I know nobody believes that's going to happen, then all of a sudden, sure, you have to recalibrate. State does not beat Alabama. I think opportunity in the ACC, their way to championship playoff. The forget, and obviously the ACC last week of the regular season has had great success. Don't get me wrong, but that was a championship game and being able to make their way in and get some help and winning in Charlotte. I think Florida State's schedule, regardless of this game, lends itself to the chance to get there if they can stay healthy and beat the teams they're supposed to beat on their schedule.
That is Jeff Cohane. You can hear his voice a week from Saturday as he is Cohane. You can hear his voice a week from Saturday as he is the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, as Alabama will come calling in week number 1. As Alabama will come calling in week number 1. Jeff, we appreciate you today. We're looking forward to the game next Saturday and hope you'll come back as the season progresses.
Great to talk to you guys. Thanks for having me. We'll have a good one.
Thanks, you. Appreciate it very much. That is Jeff Cohane. He is the voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
It's still warm outside. Summer's still here in the deep south. That means our friends at Stark Exterminators, they are busy. Let them be busy in your yard, your place of business. The stinging insects, the biting kind that you want to prevent when you're out there trying to have fun, maybe watch a game outside, grilling outside, entertaining while the weather's still nice. Well, they can come to your home, your place of business, and give you the free home or business pest inspection, absolutely free. 855-STARK now, and go to starkexterminators.com. It's a company that's been family-owned for 61 years, and they're going to use the most environmentally safe and effective solutions available. That's good news for you. That's good news for your family, and that includes your pets. Stark Exterminators. Call them today for the free home or business pest inspection, 855, or go to starkexterminators.com. We continue here on Three Man Front. We just heard from the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles, the Southern Gentleman, momentarily.
Great conversation with Jeff Cohane, who is the director of broadcasting, voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Abe will be pleased by that interview. He pointed out some potential positive things that could happen to this Florida State football team this year. None of us believe that it's going to be as bad as it was last year. I mean, Gus Malzahn is a good offensive coordinator. Their defensive coordinator, very good. And could they win enough games in the ACC that could find their way to Charlotte? So, see what happens.
If we're asking score, and we'll get closer to it, I'm not going to make you stick with this. But right now, what, in generalities, where could you see a score being for this game? I could see 28-13.
I'm going.
Alabama.
Yeah, right now I would put it 38-17.
Right now, Vegas says it's going to be 50.5. So obviously, if it's 28-13, that's 41 points. Mm-hmm. So that's way below the under. Yep. So Vegas believes this is going to be a pretty good scoring game.
All right, 30-21.
No.
35-16.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah?
Yeah. That sounds better.
Garbage touchdown, 2-point conversion late.
Yeah, for Florida State.
There you go. Any big takeaways from what Jeff told us?
I mean, listen, everybody's undefeated right now, so everybody is going to be positive, which they should. As I was looking at their schedule, open up with Bama, then they play East Texas A&M, which is an FCS school.
All right, so they're 1-1.
Kent State,
2-1.
At Virginia.
I'll give them Virginia, 3-1.
Okay. Then they're at home against Miami.
All right, 3-2.
Okay. Pittsburgh at home.
I'll give them that one.
At Stanford.
Give them that one.
They got to bye. Then they play at home against Wake Forest.
I'll give them that one.
It's pretty good so far. Then they go to Clemson.
All right, loss.
Virginia Tech at home. Right now, you say a win?
Yeah.
Then they finish up their final two games are on the road at NC State in Raleigh and then at Florida against the Gators.
1 of 2 at best, maybe lose both.
So that's,
7-5?
7-5, 8-4.
8-4 ceiling?
Yeah, I think 8-4 for Florida State. That'd be a really nice turnaround.
Going from 2 wins to 8 wins?
Absolutely.
Or
Get
even
you right
7
back
wins?
on track. Mm-hmm. Make you feel better about that investment you made in Norvell?
Over 40 new players on the roster. It's a lot.
That's a lot. It's not the most we've seen in college football this year, but that's a ton of turnover. But if you're a Florida State fan, you probably
happy with that.
Yeah, you welcome 40 new guys, right?
You needed 40
Let's have the
new guys.
reset. Let's get the stink of that last season and those guys gone. And they've tried to do that through the coaching ranks and through the roster.
Well, and I know we've given Castellanos a hard time because he has, kind of opened his mouth a lot this offseason. But and Jeff didn't totally go into this, but I think we also all recognized last year they made a massive blunder spending what they did on DJU and bringing him in to be the quarterback. And that right there, I think, is what
and
really
let's just be honest,
that set them up for failure.
None of the Alabama guys that got out of the transfer portal, none of them performed.
I know FSU Dave's excited about Earl Little and what he can do in the secondary, but yeah, no, they weren't.
Who was a wide receiver? He just transferred
Benson.
again. Malik Benson.
Yeah, Roydell, not a huge factor. Maybe some of those guys hit for him this year, but I think last year you spent over $1 million on a quarterback that was one of the worst quarterbacks in all of college football, and hard to recover from that.
Speaking about spending money, Sam Pittman is speaking at a local Arkansas touchdown club this morning, and he was talking about they have spent this is a direct quote, "We spent a lot of money on the offensive line, a lot of money. I think it was money well spent," end of quote. Over 50 new players on that Arkansas roster. But according to Sam Pittman giving a speech this morning, he feels like that they spent their money wisely in regards to their offensive line.
Trenches are important.
Yep. You got an athletic, mobile quarterback. You provide him protection. He can sit back there and create all day. And he's dangerous. Taylor Green is. when you give him time. I got question marks about the wide receivers. You lost Armstrong and some other guys, and especially the defensive side of the ball. But they'll be competitive. They'll play hard for their coach. But this is always fun. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's optimistic about the season. Things go this way. The ball bounces this way. Hey, we could be looking at a bowl. Hey, we could be looking at a college football playoff. Sadly, most of us will be disappointed.
Yep.
That is today's edition of Things to Look Forward to. Yesterday it was Pat painting the picture of the 2027 work stoppage in Major League Baseball. That is today.
Speaking of Major League Baseball, your Braves won again last night.
Hey.
How about that? They have now won 10 of their last 12.
Hurston Waldrop, here's to you.
Yeah.
By the way, and we hit on that side of the prize picks.
Schlittler did his job last night.
How many strikeouts?
He had 6 or 7. He had a perfect game through 6 innings.
Woo.
But he had 6 or 7 strikeouts, so we hit on
Hurston
that as well.
didn't allow a run and 7 strikeouts, Pat.
Nice.
Pat seems very impressed by that.
No, we were talking about it.
Yeah, no, I was sitting here looking at fan graphs.
What are they saying?
90 wins for the Braves.
3% chance?
Oh, for making the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no chance.
We're only 9.5 games back in the wild card. Come
That's
on.
0 chance.
I figured it out. To finish 500, to finish 81-81, the Braves have to go 23-12 from this point on.
That's very similar to numbers we were getting earlier in the season, my friend.
That's
23-12. They've won 11 of their last 14.
Fangraphs says you're going to finish 76-86. 10 games under.
I can see that too.
I mean, all things considered with how bad I know that's disappointing, but
I got a lot of games with the Phillies left. We got games with the Cubs left. We've got games with the Mets left. We got games with the Molly's Tigers left.
Woo.
We got some tough opponents.
Yeah, you got the Mets this weekend, off today. Got the Mets coming up over the weekend. There was a story this morning that Major League Baseball and ESPN have a framework deal in place that would give the network the exclusive rights to sell the out-of-market regular season games digitally. If you're a subscriber like I am to MLB.bat, which allows you digital access to all games out of market. Now, when the Cardinals come to Atlanta, I'm blacked out. I cannot watch. I have to be forced to watch the Braves broadcast, which is stupid.
Hey.
But it's interesting because ESPN pulled out of their deal with Major League Baseball. It was a 3-year deal where Sunday night baseball games were going to air, and also some of the playoffs. And so now what ESPN has done is they're going to continue to air like weeknight games, but they're not going to have the Sunday night package. But now they're going to own or sublease the Major League Baseball.bat digital package. And so earlier today, ESPN launched its much ballyhooed direct-to-customer, the DTC, which now you can get ESPN, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Channel, all of that on one service. And they redid the ESPN app. So with that announcement this morning, it made me think back, and Conrad and Molly will not remember this, but I know you will, Landrum, and I know our audience will. Back in 2006, ESPN built an entire business on creating a wireless service specifically for sports nuts like us. Fans would have to buy a special phone. Do you remember this, Landrum? The special flip phone?
Yes.
Okay. Fans would have to buy a special phone on which they would receive score updates. You could launch Gamecast, and you could browse ESPN.com content and a host of other features. It was called ESPN Mobile. Have you ever heard of that, Conrad? Do you know anything?
Yes, I've heard of this. I don't remember it because I was like 10, but yes.
Landrum, you remember it?
Yeah.
It was a little Motorola Razr phone. Yep, that's what it was.
There's somebody who had one.
So for the privilege of carrying sports in their pockets. Now, keep in mind, this is 2006. Customers had to buy the ESPN branded phone. It was the Sanyo MVP. It retailed for $399 just for the phone.
By the way, in 2006, that was like putting a down payment on a house.
That's a lot of money.
Now we think about it in phone terms and go, that's nothing.
So by July of 2006, the handset was available for free with a rebate and a 2-year commitment to the service. So just a couple months later, ESPN rolled out the Samsung Ace, which resembled the Motorola Razr phones. That's the one I remember that you could purchase, and then the ESPN service would come through. So the lowest price plan that was offered for this ESPN mobile, so you buy the actual hardware, and then on top of that, you had to pay $35 a month for 100 minutes of access on the phone. So just think about how much you do on your phone now, Conrad, because almost everyone has unlimited data.
I was about to say that comes out to about 3 minutes a day that you could use the phone.
Now later on, because the service was so bad because nobody was purchasing it, they lowered it to $40 a month, but you got 400 minutes instead of 100 minutes. ESPN sunk $150 million in this project. $150 million. That is the equivalent, if you take what today's money goes for, that's around $240 million. So almost $250 million they put in this project, ESPN Mobile.
And this came out in 2006?
2006.
That's hilarious because you know what came out the next year? The phone that every single person in the world has, the iPhone.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about that minutes thing? Think about how bad that would suck. If you actually purchase that, you're sitting there like many of us do. You're lying in bed. You're looking at stuff. You fall asleep. You leave it open.
So they even spent.
That's a good point.
There
I
go
didn't
your
think
minutes.
about that. Yeah.
So think about this. They spent $240 million in today's money on the project, and then they bought a $30 million Super Bowl ad to help promote the ESPN Mobile. They aired their first streamed ESPN event of all time was Michigan defeating Vanderbilt 27-7, and you could watch it on that little mobile phone. There ended up being, I think, less than 10,000 people nationwide bought the service.
I know somebody who did. Used to be friends with them.
Less than 10,000. At that time in 2006, there were 233 million cell phone subscribers in the United States, but less than 10,000 got ESPN Mobile. And then right after that ESPN Mobile, they shut it down. And then obviously a year later, they launched the ESPN app on iPhone, and the rest, as we say, is history.
You guys have that friend or know that person that they always, most of the time they've got a lot of money, but they have to have the newest, the latest, the greatest, even if they're not even interested in so much. This person wasn't even.
And now today they have launched their new ESPN app that gives you everything ESPN has to offer, and it's less than the phone plan.
E-Watch came out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny, all of these things. People took that idea and went, we can do that better, and a year later they just take over them.
Yeah. Coming up next, where the Ole Miss Radio Network, HBQ, joins us on his here on Three Man Front.
12:35, three-man front. While we're waiting on the Southern gentleman, Brett Norsworthy, his college football season debut here on the show. He joins us throughout the year, but had a little bit of a break. We last saw Brett their SEC Media Days in Atlanta.
He was our neighbor.
Yep. Text line is open. Interesting text coming in. Philip and Hoover. Text into the show, going back to the Stallions UFL. Let's be real. The only way the Stallions stay is if the city buys up the tickets for their own interest with a facility and development in that entertainment area. If that's the case, they should just go. The damage is done, and I will never give the league another dime.
Well, joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from a city that was once, I assume that they're not going to have a team next year, and that is the wonderful city of Memphis, Tennessee. They had the Showboats for a couple years. Brett, it looks like Birmingham potentially could go the same road as your Showboats are in the UFL.
Yeah, I saw my last Showboat by the Oakland Invaders, and then 40 years later, I saw my last one. I don't think
I concur. I agree with that. Okay, so enough of the spring football. Let's talk about the football that we're all fired about. It's going to take place in 2 days, and of course, we've got everything kicking off next week. And just tell us about what you've heard in camp for the Ole Miss Rebels as they get ready. As Lane Kiffin this year, this team is a little bit under the radar as opposed to what it was last year.
Well, it's a lot of new. It's a lot of new for everybody now in college football and college sports every year, but even particularly for Ole Miss, because in the Lane years, you know, he was used to looking out there and or Jackson 13, and he'll see will be big time and will be big time early, and he'll just be the third Ole Miss left-handed quarterback that I ever can remember. Brent Schaefer also wore number 13.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Paul on the a lot of games. Oh, it in the claimed as a 13.
Heck yeah. As far as the left-handed quarterback, Austin Simmons, who he's going to be throwing to, who is that wide receiver room, who's standing out? Who should our listeners be looking for this season, Brett?
Oh, it's a lot of new names. And Lane Kiffin has said, starts with Caden, player, played great years ago, third, fourth, a lot of, and now here's Mr. Jordan Watkins so often was 49ers. But it starts with Caden Lee, and then there's a lot of Penn State to transfer from like it is in college football. The first name is at a big bowl game, and the was really counting on Luke Haas year, but they're counting not at wideout.
I was doing a little bit of math, but 7 years before Pete Golding arrived in Oxford, Ole Miss's defense typically ranked around, and since Pete Golding has been there, the defense has surged to the point to where now Pete Golding is one of the highest paid assistant coaches in all of college football. And Ole Miss, talk to us about that group that we used to call the Land Sharks and what's anticipated for the Ole Miss defense this year under Pete Golding.
I think it has a chance to be just as good as last year. Yes, a lot of the names are going to be to the defense, the normal recruiting in and Cam Franklin and others, and we got from Nebraska, not running into from LSU. I think the Ole Miss defense is pretty loaded for most back there. another player that's been in the program, that Peach Bowl win over Penn State last year, but now it's your time.
Three-man front, WHBQ, talented radio host there in Memphis, Ole Miss Radio Network as well. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. As we zoom out from that program, look at the SEC as a whole. Who is that team, Brett, as we enter week one of the season from the Southeastern Conference, with cautious trepidation, if you will?
I think it's probably South Carolina. I know it's South Carolina, and it's
no. Him saying that, Brett's going to look like a genius. I ain't scared. Bold prediction. All right, we got Idaho State plus the 26.5 over the Fighting Dan Mullins.
Yeah, Pete's got that.
And you got next week with the Hokies. So got any up. You look at
during the early months of the summer, and just our schedules just never meshed together. You were our neighbor in Atlanta during SEC Media Days, but you were on the air a lot, and we were on the air, and so we could never able to get you by to join us from SEC Media Days. But you and I had a previous conversation, and you were figuring out the conference for 2025. That I do not have this answer to this question. That's why I'm asking. But at one time, you were telling me that you anticipated, as you were working through the season, that there might not be a 10-win team in the Southeastern Conference. Did you go ahead and analyze that potential prediction, or do you have someone that's actually going to crack the double digits in wins?
First time I did summertime W's and L's in lightly shaded pencil, and I did it, and it without kind of having to pencil whip it, except for two. I had 8, 9, and 3 teams, and then I figured it to get to 10. Well, I've moved away from that final prediction. I'm going to have 4 10-win teams, but I don't know how. My first inclination back Las Vegas, single SEC has a big number. There's not anybody at 11 and 11. So I think Vegas thinks like I do, really good, but it is very settled in on 4 at teams. That's Georgia championship game, and LSU and Ole Miss also Carolina at 5 and 7. I've got losing opening and during the season losing to Georgia and at Texas A&M.
You always deliver, Brett. And to be that was your I ain't scared bold prediction for week 0, correct? Idaho State plus the 26.5. You got a feel on any other games?
These games do matter. Remember a year ago on week 0, what if SMU doesn't come back late against New Mexico? He was gone. He was a rookie, setting a rookie record for interceptions with the Colts that year.
Sure was. Brett, we are so thrilled, so happy that you've agreed to join us again weekly as your typical 12:30 spot on Thursdays. We look forward to the rest of the Southeastern Conference getting into a great season.
Thanks, Brett.
It is an honor to be on with y'all, and y'all enjoy the games. Away we go. Here we are.
All right. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it very much. From WHBQ in Memphis, he joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is and HR Services.
Stuff that Brett just told us we'll discuss, as well as text. We'll get to the Jox text line, 205-834-950. The Thursday edition of Three Man Front rolls on here on Jox. Toe has officially met leather with the appearance of the Southern gentleman, Brett Norsworthy. Always fun. Woo! If you missed it, what he had to say about the South Carolina Gamecocks, he continued that huge NIL deal he got to keep him there in Columbia. Brett said mark it down, 5-7.
And he's the so that I think that was a surprise to a lot of people. He also, I believe, is the second person we've had on today behind Trey, talking about Texas 9-3.
Texas 9-3,
which I think is surprising. But yeah, South Carolina 5-7. I mean, that would be. I mean, that's about what we expected from them last year. So to go into this year with all these expectations and to end up not even going to a bowl game, that would be shocking.
4 teams he predicts that will finish 10-2. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss. Those are his 4 10-2 teams. Alabama and Georgia, I guess, playing for the SEC championship, which I can't remember. We had Alabama over Texas, right?
That's what I had, Alabama over Texas.
I love Brett. He just sent me a text, and all it is 5 football emojis.
He's ready, man.
He gets so amped up. You can get amped up. Speaking of amps, how about some boutique fitness? Our friends at Mandu, you can go in, claim your free session today. It's located conveniently there in downtown Homewood, but it's a 15-minute workout. It's the first FDA-approved electrical muscle stimulation training program in the country. They got personalized fitness regimens, small classes, state-of-the-art studios that make Mandu the safest and most effective alternative to a crowded gym. I do Mandu. Damian Mitchell's done Mandu. So many other Jox listeners have. Mandu, they put you in a suit. They hook you up to a machine, sends those electric pulses, various parts of your body. 15-minute workout. You're going to get results, I promise. I don't know if you're going to like it. I can almost promise you're going to like it. You're going to love the results because you will get them. Mandu in downtown Homewood. Claim the free session. They'll put you through the workout. You decide for yourself. MANDUU.com. Learn more there. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jox sent you.
So Auburn football is expecting some good news possibly tonight at 7 o'clock as Braylon Womack, a 5-star DB from Flowood, Mississippi. It's going to come down to his verbal commitment to either Auburn, Florida, Ohio State, or Texas A&M. Most recruiting folks tell you that Auburn has the inside track. Matter of fact, Ohio State websites, they're saying that Auburn is considered to be the aggressive front runner. He is the number 13 overall player in all of high school football, according to 247. Number 1 safety in high school football. And, of course, the number 1 player in the state of Mississippi. So we'll wait to see if Auburn does get the good news. Alabama names 4 captains today: Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, and Deontay Lawson, along with the starting quarterback Ty Simpson. So those are your permanent captains at the capstone.
Text line 205-834-9450. Let's get into some of your text. James with his I ain't scared bold prediction is that Auburn will claim its 10th national championship after winning the Yellowwood Bowl at Progressive Stadium after going 7-6. I see what you did there, James. Josh in Huntsville just lets us know he's going to be overflowing with ecstasy if FSU somehow beats Alabama.
What will you be overflowing with if that happens, Conrad?
Blood.
Depression.
Alcohol.
Don't get arrested.
I was going to say ecstasy, but that makes you feel good, right? And I don't want to feel good after that. So no, not that. Alcohol and depression.
Goodness. This one comes in from North Carolina. Landrum, the day the Auburn National Championship, in air quotes, expansion came out, a little War Eagle bird whispered to me that Mr. Yellowwood was a big push to make that happen. Then a couple of days later, Yellowwood sponsor on the field, part of that deal perhaps? ? Thoughts? Well, you just laid out that theory. I could buy that theory. Yeah, I could certainly buy that theory. Don't know if that's the case, but I know that Auburn and John Cohane, they're certainly excited that Yellowwood has agreed to a 8-figure deal to put that Pat Dye Field Yellowwood logo being smaller on the 20s. You'll see that at Jordan-Hare this season. When does Alabama break down and do it, Conrad? And who is that sponsor?
It won't be long. Maybe Yeezy will do it if I had my way.
I got a great endorsement deal for DeBoer. Cuts. Clothing line. They have collars. Just an idea.
Maybe Peter Millar. We'll see.
Cuts, you're on the clock. We'll continue 3-man front. 1 o'clock hour begins with that set where Patrick Smith is standing by. Good afternoon, Patrick.
Good afternoon, Landom. Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Don't call me Landom.
As we move along through the college football landscape, word is sneaking out right now from Yahoo Sports that SEC executives are moving closer to adopting a 9-game conference football schedule. A decision remains with the presidents, who are expected to meet soon on the issue. Momentum for a 9-game SEC schedule grew this spring, coinciding with the emergence of a 4-4, 2-2-1 college football playoff model. It seemed to fade after coaches had rejected the format. However, combined with added ESPN money and to potentially ease college football playoff talks, SEC leaders are inching closer to adopting the 9 conference games. According to previous modeling of the 9-game conference schedule, a debate the league has held now for over 4 years, each SEC school would play 3 permanent opponents and 6 rotating each season. If the SEC decides to move to this 9-game schedule, ACC leaders have said that they would follow suit. So if the SEC and the ACC, they move to 9 games, that is going to make the potential college football playoff expansion in a format much easier to adopt. So the headline at this hour, it appears, according to Yahoo Sports, that the SEC is moving ever so close to adopting a 9-game conference schedule.
It's just interesting that, and I don't know if it's coincidence, just happened to be there, but Kirby Smart, his comments earlier in the week, when he was asked about expanded college football playoff, and then we get the announcement from the College Football Playoff Committee that they have these enhanced metrics now, when they're going to factor in your strength of record as opposed to just strength of schedule.
Well, you remember when the story dropped over the weekend about the Big Ten wanting a 24 or 26 game college football playoff expansion. One of the topics was that, the SEC, the athletic directors and the conference, they have meetings, Zoom meetings, like almost on a weekly basis, just talking about all sorts of things. But apparently the Big Ten had brought the SEC into hey, just an FYI, this is kind of what we're kind of thinking right now. So they kind of briefed the SEC that, hey, you're about to see this about a 24, a 26 team college football playoff expansion. And so the SEC was going to talk about that this week, along with the other items that they usually talk about. It's not like it's a specially called meeting. And so apparently in the meetings this week, the conversation led to the 9-game conference schedule. And according to Yahoo, those conversations have gotten to the point now that it might be sent to the presidents. And the presidents would then have to vote on it. And if approved, then the SEC can move forward, because we still don't have a schedule for next year.
Right.
Like we don't know who Alabama and Auburn are playing outside of their non-conference opponents. We don't know that. So ESPN has offered more money if they would play 1 extra game. The Big Ten has said, hey, look, if you adopt a 9th game, we can do a cross-pollination schedule in which our teams can play each other. Now, there's more Big Ten teams than SEC teams, but they could work out the logistics on that, on who would be on the rotation to play each other. So to me, this is exciting. This is something that should have been done 4 years ago, but it's taken this long to get to the point. So maybe we're very close to the goal line.
I'm guessing that with a 9-game SEC schedule, they keep the rotation the same in how they figure out the schedule. But if they wanted to keep it the way that it would normally, rotate with 8 and then take that 9th and say, what are some of the matchups that we're missing with this maybe every 2 years not having? I mean, for first and foremost, I would think whether it's Alabama or Auburn playing an Ole Miss or Auburn playing an LSU. But I don't know if that works out or if that's their plan, or they're going to say, no, we're just going to take the same thing. Alabama will play Tennessee. Alabama will play Auburn. Auburn will play Georgia and Alabama. But outside of that,
I would assume if this number is the real number and you've got the 3 permanent opponents, I think Alabama's 3 permanent opponents, which Nick Saban argued about, he did not want this to happen.
Right.
It would be LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn. Those would be the 3, and that's when Nick Saban turned on this idea.
Yeah.
Because having to play LSU, Auburn, and now that Tennessee has been resurrected from the ashes, and they're a legitimate football program again, then that would be a pretty tough hole. I do not know what a third opponent would be for Auburn. I cannot remember.
Was it Vanderbilt?
I think it was.
I think it was Vanderbilt.
Which is kind of funny right now, but you could say the same thing for Alabama.
Well, it's funny right now. You welcome it once Diego Pavia leaves.
Absolutely. That's what everyone's fighting for.
When is Diego leaving?
That's a good point.
Do we know that?
I was about to say, with that TBD, maybe you want to fight over Kentucky or Mississippi State. Which one of those teams you get to play?
They would be ripe for putting on your schedule right now.
Mm-hmm. I would think so as well.
It all runs in cycles. Be careful what you ask for, right?
Maybe after last year, Auburn's could be Texas A&M for the third opponent.
So, from an Alabama perspective, who would you want the three to be?
I mean, from the competitive standpoint, and with the rivalries, I think LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn would be the way to go, but I understand why you don't want to force yourself to play a more difficult schedule every year than the other teams in the conference. But yeah, I think that would be a solid pick. If you were to let one of those go, I guess you would go LSU.
I know Auburn fans, some would say bring back Florida every year like we have with Amon Corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you would get a lot of LSU added to Auburn's schedule.
Okay, I found it. I found, and I will never forget this, Landrum. You and I were at Barber's Motorsports Park. We were doing a remote.
Yep.
And this story broke. And we spent the rest of the show talking about, because that was when Nick Saban came out.
Yeah.
And he was vehemently opposed to this idea. According to the previously reported, the three opponents for every SEC school based on metrics that they took the 10 previous years, Alabama would play Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee. Auburn's three opponents would be Alabama, Georgia, Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Arkansas would be Missouri, Ole Miss, and Texas. Florida would play Georgia, Oklahoma, South Carolina. Georgia would play Auburn, Florida, Kentucky. Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi State, South Carolina. LSU, Bama, Ole Miss, and A&M. So those are...
That's a good one. That's tough.
That's three tough games. Mississippi State, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Mizzou, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. Oklahoma would play Florida, Mizzou, and Texas. Ole Miss, Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State. South Carolina would play Florida, Kentucky, Tennessee. Texas would play Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. A&M, LSU, Mississippi State, Texas. Tennessee, Bama, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Mizzou, and Tennessee. That is based on the previously reported metrics that the SEC used in regards to the win-losses and trying to pit the different teams. For Alabama, it was the fact that Tennessee was so bad over the course of that 10-year period that was the team that Alabama, was thrown in there. And obviously for Auburn, it was Vanderbilt.
Well, Tony Petitti's happy.
He will be.
So
he'll feel like he won.
So, right.
He'll feel like the SEC bent in the knee. And I think that's what he wants at the end of the day, is to feel powerful. He wants what you were talking about earlier. He wants that spot in the back of the classroom where he can see everything in front of him and there's nobody behind him. That's what he's looking for.
Just like a baseball guy. Right?
It's Mike Griffith's favorite line. He's not a football guy. He's a baseball guy.
Like the home plate umpire. You see everything.
That's right.
And then you start thinking about some of these non-conference opponents like Alabama and Ohio State. They have a home and away that is scheduled towards the end of this decade. And if the SEC moves to the 9-game conference schedule, then that could be they would keep that game, and that would be the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
The crossover game.
I don't know what everybody. We don't know how these teams are going to be. I will go ahead and mark it down. That will be the toughest schedule in the country that year.
Oh, Alabama's schedule? It won't be easy. Bring it on.
You invite it, though.
Bring it on.
More teams in the playoff. Get expanded playoff.
I mean, so
new metrics on how do we select the teams.
We might have 28 teams in the playoff by then.
So think about this. This is another reason why this should have happened a long time ago. So despite being in the conference for 13 years, Texas A&M has only hosted Tennessee or Georgia once combined. Think about that. They've been in the conference for 13 years, and they've only hosted Georgia or Tennessee once combined between the two schools. Tennessee has not played an SEC game in the state of Mississippi since 2014, even though the states share a border. Tennessee and Ole Miss played annually from 1956 to 1991 until the SEC switched to a divisional format back in 1992. Florida has not played an SEC game in the state of Alabama since 2014.
Good night.
How about that?
I was at that game because somebody hung an alligator over the second deck of Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Was that when Muschamp was still at Florida and you had, what's his name, Charlie Weiss is the OC?
Yeah.
2014, yeah, sounds about right.
Florida and Auburn played annually from 1927 through 2002, except during World War II. When the SEC reduced permanent cross-division rivals from 2 to 1, they've only played 4 times since. So every year from 27 through 2002, Auburn and Florida played until they went to the cross-division rivalry, and they've only played 4 times since.
We need more Ole Miss Tennessee. That's where we got the trash throwing game.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens when you get those two together? That was entertaining.
Over the last decade, Georgia at Texas A&M has never happened. Texas A&M at Kentucky has never happened. The last time Mississippi State went to the Swamp was 2010. The last time Florida was at Auburn was 2011.
That might have been more Muschamp.
Arkansas hasn't been to Vandy since 2011. Tennessee hasn't played in Starkville since 2012. Kentucky hasn't played in Arkansas since 2012. LSU at Georgia, that game has not been played since 2013. Auburn hasn't played at Tennessee since 2013. Tennessee has not played at Ole Miss since 2014. We mentioned Bama at Bryant-Denny Stadium hosting Florida.
Auburn has not played at Tennessee since Lane Kiffin was the coach. Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
At Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because you remember
under
Pruitt, they played and beat Auburn a couple years ago. South Carolina has not been at Auburn since 2014. Kentucky has not played at LSU since 2014. So I'm just giving you an example of how these schedules have been so messed up since the conference expanded that you have just not had the opportunity of a rotation. So by having this rotation now, you would have the 3 permanent opponents, and then you would have the 6 other opponents that would be on a rotational basis. So you would be able, all those games that I just mentioned, they would be resurrected in some form or fashion.
Georgia, Texas A&M, that's one that stands out, and I know that gets mentioned a good bit. But some of those other ones, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tennessee has not played in the state of Mississippi since when? Go back to that one.
What did I say? Tennessee and Ole Miss, they played annually from 56 to 91 until the SEC switched to a divisional format. But they have not played a game in the state of Mississippi since 2014. They share a border. And they don't play each other. It's just bizarre.
But what isn't bizarre in college football these days? Because I started thinking about it. This is probably the least of any fan's worries right now. Because we get inundated every single day with change.
Yep.
When it comes to the sport, how we're going to format it, how we're going to weigh metrics, transfer portal rules, NIL. We got injunctions going on. We had a judge that had to step in, eligibility. It's just, it's a lot. As Venables said last year, it's the fire hose thing.
Yeah. And then you look at this year's schedule, and you have some interesting things. Bama doesn't leave the state in its final 5 games of the season. Now, again, that last one, pretty tough one at Jordan-Hare Stadium, but the point is that...
Well, some Alabama fans call that West Georgia.
True. Very true. Georgia versus Tennessee in week 3. It's the earliest since 1995. I'm just sitting here looking at different things that's going to be happening this year. Mizzou has 8 home games. First time in the school's history that has happened. They don't play a road game until they visit Auburn on October the 18th. Oh, my.
They snuggle up to in the offseason.
Man, they kind of got the Texas love, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, to be fair, wasn't it? Auburn had like 5 straight home games? Was that last year when they started off that way? So I guess it's just going to be a team every year.
It doesn't always work to your favor, that being case in point.
That is a good point as well.
Now, Tyler McComas, we love. Love Tyler. Didn't he put on his...
I really like him. You love him. I'm just kidding.
On his ticker talker, didn't he put that they were going to go 9-3?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said?
He did.
Yep.
I don't know if you've really looked at their schedule.
I have.
Oh, their schedule's insane.
But in the second half of the season, they play 4 SEC games in 4 weeks without a break. And the only one is at home. That stretch starts with Texas, then a trip to Georgia, a home game against Ole Miss, and then a road date at Tennessee on November the 1st.
Yeah, their schedule, I know Florida's schedule is, again, very, very difficult. Like last year, I think Oklahoma's kind of like Florida's last year, where you just look at it and you're like, what are you supposed to do with that?
So then after the bye week, they play Alabama, Mizzou, and LSU to end the season.
Well, there's 7 of their 12 games. You've got teams that are currently ranked in the preseason top 25. That does not include Auburn, which could be there before season's end, and it doesn't include Missouri.
So they could, at the end of the day, 9 of their 12 games could have come against teams in the top 25.
Yes.
Yeah. And we were just talking about all these teams going places, and it's been a long time. This will be Alabama's first trip to Athens since 2015.
Yeah, I was about to say 2015. Then before that, it was, 2007 or 2008? 2008 was the last time that they did that.
That was the blackout.
Who was the Georgia running back that got – was it hurt? Or was that an Alabama running back that got hurt during that game?
Which one?
2015?
Yeah, that was the –
2015
wasn't that the rain?
rain.
Was it that rain soaked game?
That was the rain. That was when Henry ran,
I was about to say that. That game was not close.
Was it the Georgia running back who had gotten hurt?
I was about to say, in 2015, without a bitch Chubb, Sony Michelle, or Todd Gurley.
To be honest, they all run together.
Yeah.
And they were all amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conversation, it appears the SEC is moving another inch closer to a 9-game conference schedule. We'll open up the phone lines next. 1-800-239-WJOX. The story we've been talking about, Yahoo Sports is reporting that the SEC is moving a step closer to the potential of a 9. It still has to be voted on by the presidents, but this is a significant yes because the athletic directors, which means the coaches, have obviously given their approval if the presidents are going to be voting on it. And when that happens, the SEC can move forward because we still don't have a schedule for the 2026 season and moving on. And once that's in place, Landrum, then the college football playoff expansion discussion, maybe that can actually get something done as well.
Yep. Phone calls, phone lines are open, 205-834-9450. That's the Jox text line. Let's go first to Bama Hater. Hey, Bama Hater, how are you?
I'm all right. How y'all guys doing today, man?
We're doing well. Happy college football season.
Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait till the 23rd. Hey, look, man, my opinion on that 9-game SEC schedule, I think as soon as it's in place, I think the criteria for getting a playoff spot is going to expand to 3 losses and you can get in because we all know once the SEC expands to 9 games and you're going to get one tough opponent out of conference, what's your chance of not having 3 losses in the SEC? But I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. What's different in Castellanos' confidence in his team beating Alabama compared to Conrad thinking Alabama's just going to automatically beat them by double digits? To me, that's kind of like the same thing. That's just my opinion.
Well, the difference, Bama Hater, with all due respect, is to Conrad, Castellanos is an amazing quarterback. He's athletically gifted, and he will play in the game. Conrad may think he's going to play, but he will not.
I also didn't get benched at Boston College last year.
No.
Oh, okay. Hey, but let me ask you guys another question. And I kind of want all you guys to give an input if you can. Would there ever be a 3-loss team, maybe this year, a 3-loss team to get in the playoffs? What team would that be? And what 3 losses on their schedule would be excused enough for them to be in the playoffs?
Are we talking this year?
Yes.
Alabama would be that team. You know that's the answer. And
So
there are
what
3
3
excused
losses would be
losses.
excused?
The 3 losses that would be excused would be at Georgia, let's say
at Auburn,
and a nail biter last-second field goal at home to LSU.
So is Auburn in the top 25 right now?
They are not.
So basically, what I'm hearing is you're going to excuse 3 losses, and one of those would be to an unranked team again.
Well, hold on a second. We don't know.
We don't know
what any of those teams are going to be ranked.
True.
I mean,
No, I'm just saying from right now.
Oh, okay.
And then you would excuse them with the other 2 losses because they were ranked high. Talking about Alabama, but they weren't good enough to beat the other ranked teams. So it doesn't matter if they lose to ranked teams or unranked teams. It's still okay to excuse them to get a playoff spot.
When I saw that they were going to move to the 9-game, and then this morning when I saw the enhanced metric, I thought about you, Bama Hater. I said Bama Hater's going to hate this because this just means more SEC.
Hey, but you know what I'm looking forward to, man? And I know there's going to be that last question is going to be tough for you guys to kind of answer. But I'm looking forward to the 2026 season. Unless Alabama takes Ohio State off the schedule, I'm looking forward to the Smith and Ryan Williams so they can end that debate of which one of those 2 are the best wide receiver in college football.
That'll be good. That'll be a good one, no doubt.
Hopefully they're still at their respective programs by then.
Bama Hater, they're both going to be in the NFL when those 2 teams play. I hate to break the news to you.
I thought you had to play 3 years.
Yeah, they don't play until 2027 and 2028. That's the home and home.
Oh, I thought it started next year, but I guess I'm wrong.
No, you'll just have to wait. We'll see him in the playoff, I'm sure.
No, you don't know. Ryan Williams, he might want to do all 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Miami in the playoffs and Bama Washington.
Can I come watch that game at your house, Bama Hater?
Yeah, hey man, you invited. You can yell as loud as you want to for Miami.
Are you gonna let Conrad come inside, or are you gonna set him out in the yard?
Yeah, I got 2 toothbrushes I want to give him. I've been.
I look forward to it.
Oh, that'll be great. That's fantastic.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Bama
too,
Hater.
buddy.
Appreciate it.
It's always good. That's really good. Let's go to Pizza Larry. Hey, Pizza Larry.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I think I met a few of y'all. I don't know who was there at the COVID Iron Bowl party in Huntsville at the theater.
Oh, COVID. It was not me. Pat, were you there?
Oh. There was some personalities. I don't know who it was. Anyway, never mind.
You were very specific. A COVID Iron Bowl party in Huntsville. I was not there.
At the movie theater when they showed on the movie theater screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all guys sponsored that. Yeah. Anyway, so my thought was this as driving around thinking about it. What makes sense to me is 2 permanent opponents and 7 rotating. That way, if you keep the 7 the same from this year and then next year being different, and keep those for 4 years, then every 2 years you would play every team in the SEC. Every 4 years you would have a home with every team in the SEC. Is my math right, or is
that sounds right?
That sounds right.
I'd have to put pen to paper, but that does sound.
So
logical.
You're saying keep the 2 common, keep the 2 mainstays, and then rotate the other 7. So you'll have
7.
Every 2 years.
And then, so in a 4-year period, you keep those, the 7 you play this year, you play 2 years from now, and then at the end of 4 years, if you try to make those schedules equitable in some way, and then if the power shifts at the end of 4 years, you can change them up, and then for each 4-year period, you would, like I say, you would play every team in the SEC in a home order, when they play during the year, if you want to, mix things up. But
yeah, for sure. Pizza Larry, thank you for the phone call, and hopefully we'll get to meet you in person one day. But it's Pat going back through. I love the SEC, and I've watched SEC football ever since I began watching football. But I had no idea some of those matchups and the droughts that we've had with those particular matchups.
And listen, and kudos to Greg Sankey. Greg Sankey has wanted to change this 4 years ago. He brought this subject up, and it has been a bone of contention. He has been all in favor of going to 9 games, but he works for the presidents of the universities. And if the presidents of the universities don't want to go to 9 conference games, and that's what has been the holdup. But it seems like we got a little bit closer. We thought it was going to be a decision in Destin, and then all of a sudden a bunch of the college football playoff stuff came up. And so they've continued the conversation the last couple of months. And according to Yahoo, this has come to a head this week, in which it appears the coaches and the ADs are okay with the 9. Now it's the presidents to make the ultimate decision.
And I understand it from a fan perspective, but as someone who travels with a team during the college football season, the venue change, going and playing at a different place, that is exciting for everyone involved.
It's just stupid that Georgia and Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M played in Athens, but Georgia has never gone to College Station. I mean, it's not like this is Texas and Oklahoma that just joined the league. I mean, Texas A&M has been in the league for almost 13, and they haven't been there to play a game. It's just stupid. We'll continue.
Not fair to the Merry Milkman.
No, not at all. They deserve to have the Bulldogs in Texas. Yes, very much so. All right, we will continue with your calls, your texts. I understand some people are tweeting at us some stuff that's inaccurate. Okay. Continue to talk about the scheduling in the SEC next. Don't read and believe everything you see on Twitter.
If it's related to...
We have been as transparent as we possibly can be.
That's it.
Don't know what else we can be.
Nope.
That's the trust that we have between us and you, the listener. And if you ever break that, then we really don't have a show. But we have done everything in our power to be as upfront as we possibly can about every situation that has come up in this market. And we will continue to do so.
I don't mind saying I did not use our small amount of time in between the breaks. And I might have to dip out this segment. That's transparency. A little too much liquid today.
Artec Tractor Jasper is having a sale on all their, speaking of fluids.
Nice.
They've got 15% off their fluids and filters to the end of September. I'm talking about oil filters and air filters, engine oil and hydraulic oil. Locally owned specialists in mowers and tractors. I bought my zero-turn Toro, and it has been a game changer for me. They've got Cub Cadet, Gravely, Bobcat, Spartan, residential to commercial grade, tractor brands like Mahindra, Bobcat, knowledgeable sales staff. I called Jeremy and Greg up at Artec Tractor because I was in the market for a mower, and they put me in touch with the right folks. And then, of course, I went to artectractor.com, picked out which one that I wanted to get, and Jeremy, he delivered it to me in Trustful from Jasper. But I live 5 minutes from a big box store, and I said, I don't want to purchase that. I want to go to the experts, and that's why I went to Artec Tractor. You should do it too. artectractor.com, just north of Jasper on Highway 5.
What's your top speed on that thing?
You know, I don't know. I don't have it all the way. I mean, it will get up and go. He warned me. Like when he got it off the back of his truck, he was like, hey, just beware. Like if you go, you know, it's got the rabbit and the tortoise emblem on it, you know? Like if you go all the way up, you better get ready. And in one afternoon, I didn't have the blades down. Had the blades up, obviously. But I just kind of wanted to. And yeah.
It'll go?
It got up and go, man.
Don't they have riding lawnmower racing?
I believe so.
They have it out at Sayre or somewhere like that?
Yeah. I'm telling you.
We need to get you involved in that. That'd be great for you.
Oh, yeah. I need one other activity, Landrum,
on
my schedule.
We'll be your pit crew.
Yeah, please. Just one more thing.
I don't know what that involves. 205-834-9450. Troy is in Oklahoma, wants to comment on the schedule. Hey, Troy.
Hey, guys. I remember about 4 years ago when SEC just got their deal with ESPN, and they talked about a 9-game schedule, but ESPN wasn't willing to pay for more inventory. So I guess the presidents didn't go for it by then.
That is correct. A matter of fact, the ESPN sweetened the pot. To my understanding, if they were to add an additional game, it would come to the equivalent of potentially between $3 and $5 million per school in the Southeastern Conference that they would receive on top of what they have been getting.
Makes sense to me. It's more good football, so I don't see why anybody have a problem with it. But
and it's more good football, and the schools will get more money that they can invest in players.
Exactly. So my question is, of the ACC, SEC in-state rivals, which one's more at risk? I'll move south and go up. Florida State, Georgia Tech, South Carolina Clemson, or Kentucky Louisville.
I will tell you this. I think the two that would be in the biggest jeopardy of going away is Georgia Tech. And I know that Brent Key has made Georgia Tech into a relevant football program again. But
relevant, still not competitive. When's the last time Georgia Tech won that one, you know?
No, you are absolutely correct. And Georgia people, I mean, listen, they kill them every year until last year was a competitive game. They've wanted that game to leave and get off their schedule for a very long time. Like they don't care about that game. And then the next one will probably be Louisville and Kentucky. That doesn't have the historical relevance as a South Carolina Clemson or a Florida State Florida. So those two other rivalries, that would probably be a little bit more difficult to see go by the wayside. But those are great questions.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think the South Carolina and Clemson, there'd be a big uproar.
Yes.
Same with Florida State. You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for the call from Oklahoma, listening on the Jox app. We appreciate that very much. And also, folks watching us on YouTube every day. We appreciate that very much.
Text line is open, 205-834-9450. This one reads, I say no permanent opponents. All rotate. The only fair way to do it make the rivalries mean that much more. They could still play in the championship or in the playoffs, especially if it goes to 7 teams for the SEC. Let's see how this one reads. Darren from Tennessee. UAB, Darren. Conrad, you're an Alabama fan. Pat, Ole Miss. Molly, Nebraska. Landrum, your college team. UAB. Hopefully we go bowling this year. Luke. I think it's messed up that Auburn has only played Florida 1 time since expansion, but Missouri 4 times if you count this year with all the history between Florida and Auburn. Agree, Luke? Jonathan asking, does Bama Hater ever talk about Miami football? He does sometimes.
Very rarely.
Conrad, are you coming to Tuscaloosa any this fall?
To the dismay of many, I am going to put on my big boy pants this fall, and I will be at all of the Alabama home games except for one. I will let you look at the schedule and take a guess as to which one that will be.
I cannot believe you're not going to the Oklahoma game.
But yes, I will be proud to say I will be covering the Alabama football season from Bryant-Denny this year, so I will be at all the home games.
Yes, he will be representing 3-man front WJOX there in person.
Except for Eastern Illinois. Sorry, I won't be there.
This one reads, Auburn has always played Georgia and Alabama. Is that not usually tough enough? Tennessee has been a joke. So as opposed to having Alabama, Georgia, Vanderbilt, which would be that fixed opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you certainly could have made the argument for
Adding
Auburn,
a Florida.
Right, you
LSU.
would have had the two, at least in recent memory, the best teams on your schedule over here in Alabama and Georgia, so maybe Vanderbilt.
This doesn't need to be the deciding factor because it can always change and coaches can change. But with Lane Kiffin and his trolling of Hugh Freeze, we've got to get Auburn and Ole Miss back.
I want to see that game so bad. If I could add one game to the schedule this year, it would be Ole Miss and Auburn. Because
And don't you get a feeling by next year, again, they got to come out with a schedule regardless, whether it's an 8-game schedule or a 9-game. I got a feeling that Ole Miss Auburn game will be back.
We'll get Ole Miss and Auburn, and we better have Georgia at Kyle Field and College Station. Those are the two things we need next year.
Yep. And that's what was so weird last year. Georgia going to Austin.
Yeah, the first
in
year.
the first year that Texas is there, but they've never been to College Station since the Aggies have been in since 2012.
Yep.
By the way, going back to the discussion we had, Alabama 2015, Georgia. Following week is when Nick Chubb injured the knee.
At Tennessee, yep.
Yeah, because he had a great game against Alabama.
Here, I'll send y'all the picture of that.
No, don't send it to me. I don't want to see it.
I will say,
Molly said she wanted to see it.
I don't think that one's quite as bad as, and you kind of have your pick between two. The Marshawn Lattimore, those are.
Oh, I remember exactly where I was.
Those are probably the worst that I've seen. And the.
I ran in at 5K that morning. I remember exactly where I was in my old house when that happened.
Yeah. And I can't remember his name, but the Louisville basketball player.
Yeah, that's bad too.
It's what happened to me in the cave. If you've ever wanted a visual representation of me falling down a cave, I had the same injury as the. But he didn't have to fall 50 feet for his.
Ugh. All right, appreciate the time. We read every single one. Some are not fit for air. But maybe Conrad's late night podcast. Conrad and Friends. We continue 3-man front here on Jox.
It is 1:48. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Hope to see you Regions Field in downtown Birmingham as the Birmingham Barons will be taking on the Trash Pandas from Huntsville. It will be our Jox kickoff party. Hopefully you guys were able to win some tickets and we will be able to see you tonight. How about this? Urban Meyer is asking the NFL to suspend Jim Harbaugh for his actions at the University of Michigan. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up.
A better person.
So on the Triple Option podcast, Urban Meyer said when Jim Tressel was fired by Ohio State and he was given a suspension, Roger Goodell, commissioner of the National Football League, came out and said that they were going to honor that suspension. Tressel was at Indianapolis. He was working in the replay room for the Colts. The Colts, because of the respect he had for the NCAA and the suspension, they suspended Jim Tressel for the first 6 games of the NFL season. So Jim Tressel was not the head coach, but he was working for the Colts. And because of his